could have been, might have been, the face mask.
Good afternoon. What's going on, everybody?
Hello, hello.
How you doing? How you doing?
Welcome to Week 8. As always, with this football, just moving right along.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In a blink of an eye, it just happens.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, we're gonna blink again, and it's gonna be the fantasy playoffs. But
yeah,
hey,
I don't even want to talk about that.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Right, we've got some matchups to win.
We already got some questions in the chat.
Yeah,
Fortune
let's
West Music
get
was
to
going
it.
on. How you doing, Corey?
What's up, Fortune?
Booker or Marvin Jones in the flex?
First of all, I just saw, John, what you did with the layout. Happy Halloween, everybody.
Oh,
This
yeah,
looks
happy
very
Halloween,
cool.
everybody.
Happy Halloween. If you're also between like two costumes, let us know. We'll try to help out with that too. I mean, I guess I gotta go Booker. I'm always like privy to go with a starting running back over a wide receiver. It sounds like Saquon is not gonna be activated for Monday night against the Chiefs. They both have good matchups, but Booker has the better one. Is that game in New York? No,
I'm
in Kansas
not
City.
sure. Yeah,
It's in Kansas City. Still, I mean, the Chiefs defense has been awful against running backs.
against everybody. They've been
against
awful
pretty
against
much
pretty much
everybody.
everybody. Yeah.
Pretty much everybody. So I would go Booker.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Jamal Agnew, who's been more involved over the past few weeks out of nowhere in that offense. Dan Arnold is still getting acclimated there, but he just continues to be more and more used every week. So, I mean, whereas I was really high on Marvin Jones after the TJ Chark injury, I would go Booker there. I would agree. I would go Booker there.
I think Agnew killed Laviska Shenault.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think he did. He was one of the guys I was really high on this year. That so far appears to not be the case, but yeah. It is what it is.
But yeah, go Booker, Fortune. I hope that helps
I would
you.
go Booker.
Tanya, or is that Tony E? Tanya? I don't know. 187. What's going on? Half PPR. Who should I bench? Pick one. Javonte Williams, CeeDee Lamb, DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin. Assume Prescott doesn't play.
I mean, I think it's gotta. I love Javonte, but I can't sit any of those receivers.
Yeah, I would sit Javonte too.
I know even CD, even if he has to play with Cooper Rush, I can't sit CD.
Yeah, I mean, he played with
Javonte.
Cooper Rush for a couple of games last season.
Yeah, played with Andy Dalton and whatever other slop the Cowboys rolled out.
John Wagner, what's going on? Thank you for the super
chat. John?
Very, very generous of you. Hey guys, Superflex, Jones, Tannehill, RB, Mike Davis, David Johnson. Is that it? Yeah.
So Mike Davis or David Johnson. I mean, between Jones and Tannehill, I mean, we just got done talking about how the Chiefs are getting cooked by everybody on defense, but so are the Colts. The Titans play the Colts this week. That's tough, and they both have rushing upside. I mean, I guess in that situation, I'm more inclined to just go with who I think is the better player, and that's Tannehill, because they both have good matchups. They both can run. Tannehill's down Julio, but Daniel Jones might be down. Like say he's definitely down Kenny Golladay, right? He's probably down Saquon.
Galladay's out.
I'm not actually sure what Sterling Shepard's status is for this game. I feel
believe
like he
he's
might.
out. I believe he's out, but I'm not positive.
He might be okay.
Let me take a look.
The difference is Tannehill's playing a division game, which I always like to call that out for better or worse. I always like to if a division game is being played, you always have to take intangibles from division opponents into account. But I think I would give a slight edge to Tannehill. It's still a good matchup, even though I would say Jones has the better matchup, but Tannehill's the better quarterback.
And Sterling Shepard is listed as questionable for Week 8 right now.
I mean, Kansas City's.
We'll have to monitor that over the next 12 hours. Going into our live stream tomorrow morning. But Tannehill doesn't need Julio Jones to put up a
No,
QB
he
1
doesn't.
week. He needs A.J. Brown to put up a QB 1 week, and he has A.J. Brown back, and A.J.
Right.
Brown exploded last week. So
Right.
really, all Tannehill needs is the run game to be firing, which it always is,
Yeah.
and his number one target, which he's gonna have. All the other he'll figure everything else out, but that's been his bread and butter over the past few seasons. So. Yeah, I'd go Tannehill there as far as the quarterbacks and Superflex.
I'd give a slight edge to Tannehill. Go ahead.
No, it's just as far as the running backs, I don't know. I think I would go Mike Davis because the Falcons have been putting up points over the past few weeks. They've been in scoring positions more than I would have thought, and more than they had been up to a few weeks ago. I mean, the past 3 weeks, the Falcons have been putting up points. So, I mean, I know he's splitting work with Cordarrelle Patterson, but I'd rather have the two-way split there on a team that's putting up points right now versus the possible three-way split of David Johnson, Phillip Lindsay, Scotty Phillips on the worst team in the NFL. You know, they're the fifth worst rushing team in the league right now.
I'm actually not with you on that one.
You would rather go David Johnson?
Well, I guess I would answer that with my own question. What do you think the odds are that maybe the Texans, they just traded Mark Ingram?
Right.
What are the chances they try to showcase David Johnson with the intention of trying to trade David Johnson?
I don't think they would have any takers.
I
don't think that's the guy that they're going to be. Right, but that was a special situation. That was the reunion on the Saints. I mean, it was a match made in heaven. I mean, but that I don't think that happens with like Arizona and David Johnson. I don't see a team going out and getting David Johnson. There are other running backs currently on the market that are better and younger.
I know the Falcons have been clicking a little bit recently, but last week Mike Davis had absolutely nothing to do with that.
Right.
He didn't do anything.
But David Johnson hasn't literally hasn't been.
Hasn't
done anything. At least Mike
know.
Davis has done something this season. Literally, no, I can't point to any outside of week one.
Week one, he scored.
Where any of them were fantasy relevant. I mean, Phillip Lindsay was fantasy relevant week one because he caught that touchdown pass, and Mark Ingram got like 16 rushes on the ground, which never happened again.
David Johnson had, a little over 7.5 half PPR points last week, 7 carries, 25 yards, and he had 6 targets, caught 5 of them for 27. Actually, he's got 6 targets twice this year. David Johnson does. I would go a slight edge to David Johnson just because I do think there is a outside chance that the Texans try to feature him a little bit here just to see what they can get for him. As thin as those chances are. And with Mark Ingram out of the picture, opportunities open up, whereas Mike Davis is in the same exact situation that he has been, and he put up a gigantic dud last week in what was I think it was a good matchup. Did they play the Dolphins last week?
I believe so, yes.
They played the Dolphins last week. So in a great matchup, it flopped. And now they get Carolina, who has been really strong against running backs. Who's Houston playing? Oh, the Rams. Crap. But
Jaylen Ramsey, is Jaylen Ramsey playing? I believe Jaylen Ramsey was questionable and
I'll have to take a look at that.
I believe Jaylen Ramsey was maybe he was a question mark moving into that game. Let me check real quick.
Okay. I think we're a little split on this one, John. So unfortunately, I don't know if we can. I don't know how helpful we can be. John thinks Davis. I'm giving a slight edge to Johnson. Davis is in the better offense.
Can't find it.
Davis is in the better offense. Patterson pretty much took his job. And Calvin Ridley is, I guess, fully immersed in the offense. I know he returned last week, but now he's back. David Johnson, obviously it's a much worse situation. But I feel like,
Like
he's
in a
I feel
vacuum,
like he's
I
a
feel
bigger
like
threat to catch some passes.
in a
this
vacuum,
weekend.
who's the better back right now? I think it's Mike Davis.
Probably Davis.
And who's on the better offense? It's Mike Davis. Who's got the easier matchup? I mean, it's David Johnson, maybe by a hair.
Slightly.
I just think everything right now is pointing Mike Davis, edge to Mike Davis, even though they're both unexciting plays right now.
The Panthers are top 7 against the run. The Rams are actually closer to the bottom than they are to the top. They're like middle of the pack, but they're back half middle of the pack. They're not as scary against running backs as you might think on paper.
Okay. And I would want to see those splits with the Carolina defense between the first 3 games and the last 4.
And the last few, yeah.
Just because the team has played completely different in all phases of the game.
They've fallen off
it's
a
not
bit,
just
yeah.
Darnold that's kind of failing right now. It's literally all phases of the game in Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't know that we answered the question.
No, I mean, we're split, and you're gonna have to tell us which way you're gonna go. Everybody in the chat.
He said he has Johnson in now, Davis all year, but that's led to a 1-6 record. Well,
yeah, it's not
contributed.
it's not a guy that you want to be starting, but I mean, I don't think David Johnson is either, even though he's gonna have an increased workload. I want to see it shake out a week before I play him over Mike Davis.
Okay, we're split. John has made his case for Davis. I've made my case for Johnson.
Yeah.
But he says he's got Johnson in there now. I think I would leave it there. John says he would probably swap Davis in. I guess at this point, go with your gut. If there's anybody in the chat who feels a strong way between Mike Davis and David Johnson, by all means, drop how you're feeling. Maybe we can come to a little bit more of a firmer conclusion than what we're at right now. But I would leave Johnson in there. John would pivot to Davis.
Yeah, I'm sorry we can't give you a more concrete answer. Even though you gave in the super chat, I wish we could.
We were in lockstep with Tanny.
Yeah.
Not so much the backs.
But yeah, going back up to Tanya's question, I don't know if we answered that completely, but I believe we did side all the way on Javonte for both of us.
Start the receivers.
Yep.
Start the even seed like
Javonte.
CD even without Dak, play CD.
Yep. Eduardo Tovar, what's going on? If Eckler is out, do I go Pollard or Alex Collins? I would go. I mean, Pollard has cooled off over the past few weeks.
Yeah, and the Vikings defense has been solid.
Collins
Pollard is the better player than Alex Collins.
Alex Collins hasn't been great as of late, but he's getting all the work.
Right.
I mean, Rashad Penny clearly isn't a threat to his workload right now.
Collins is questionable. Collins is questionable with an injury.
Well, I would be inclined to go Pollard and hope that
I think
Pollard
I would be
has a
inclined
little
to go
bit of
Pollard
a boom
as
week.
well.
Yeah. I don't know
Collins
the matchup,
is likely
but
to play.
He's going up against the Vikings, the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. And without a backup or with likely a backup quarterback.
Right.
I think
which means they're going to run the ball a lot. Yeah, I would go Pollard.
Yeah, or maybe dump the ball off to him a little bit more, like he catches passes.
Right. Yep.
Vikings are actually not that scary against running backs. They're
I would
also,
go
like the Rams.
I would go Pollard there. Yep.
The Vikings are elite against quarterbacks and wide receivers as far as their defense. They're giving up decent production, 20 fantasy points per game to running backs. So, I would go Pollard. I think the Jacksonville's given up actually they're neck and neck. How do you like that? Jacksonville and Minnesota, go figure, are neck and neck against running backs. So in that situation, go with the guy who's more healthy and the better player. I would go Pollard.
Yeah, I'd go Pollard. I think just game flow wise and just game script wise, with them having Cooper Rush in there, they're going to have to utilize the short and intermediate passing game a whole lot more. So, and Cooper Rush would play on the scout team, right? So he would have seen more playing time with Pollard than he would have went with Zeke, for whatever that.
More likely,
for whatever that matters.
Give it yeah, right. If you want to give a slight edge to Pollard based on the fact that maybe Cooper Rush has played a little bit more with Pollard in practice.
Yep.
Sure. Like that's fair.
If we're running down the narrative, if we're going all the way down the narrative road. Yeah. What's going on, Chris M7? What's popping?
That's what we're trying to do here. What's up, Chris?
Yo, so we don't have any questions right now, but I did want to bring up what I think is kind of a hot topic, bro. You had a hot take. You put out a video with a very hot take.
I did.
Yeah. Sit Alvin Kamara and Leonard Fournette.
I didn't. Well, hold on.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
Hang
you got
on
it.
a second.
I know.
I know. We may have put
the
in
the thumbnail was misleading. The thumbnail was very misleading.
We gotta clean that up a little bit. I am not advocating for sitting Alvin Kamara. Never in a million years would I sit Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, bro,
he could be going up against the
100% game
Monstars.
script proof. I think he's gonna have like a 20-point week. Honestly,
the thing that I wanted to just call
he's the whole offense. John Wagner with another
easy.
super chat, bro. Hey, thank you so much. Appreciate
thanks,
the
man.
support.
Okay, I'll get to my point in a second, but with between Fant or Schultz, I mean, another take I had, this one might be a little bit more easier to get behind, is just start your Denver Broncos this week. Like, start all of them. The matchup is great.
You don't want to be going Schultz this week.
I like Schultz, but I mean, backup quarterbacks can have a little bit more of a like, to your point, short, intermediate throws. Obviously, the tight end is a big part of a game plan in that scenario, like that type of game plan. Fant is the better athlete, and I love the matchup for the Broncos in general this week. Washington stinks. Okay, not that Denver's great. Not that Denver's like a bunch of world beaters, but they're at home. They played a tough game against Cleveland. Now, Cleveland was down a bunch of starters in that Thursday night game last week. But the Broncos kept it close on the road. You always, Thursday night, I won't delve too much into Thursday night other than they're always a pain in the ass. So, like, anytime a road team has to deal with a Thursday night game, if they play a tough game, even in a game where you expect them to lose, it's still commendable. So the Broncos played decently enough. They played pretty tough. Now they get to come back home on a 10 days rest against a bad Washington team. That defense, not only have they not met expectations, they're giving up tons of fantasy production all over the place, especially to quarterbacks and especially to wide receivers. But they're not that much better against tight ends either. I would go Fant rather confidently over Schultz.
I would go Fant just based off of RAS scores alone. Nah, man. I would go Fant just because, for everything you said, basically. But, I mean, I know Cooper Rush should be targeting the short and intermediate passing game a lot more than Dak would.
But so could Jarwin.
I don't like Schultz this week. I don't like. I'm not shooting for anybody in that passing game. Though for what it's worth, Judy will be back.
But that's it.
So there will be a lot of the target.
Probably a pitch count.
Yeah.
Probably
but
he was a pitch count.
He was easily leading that team in targets before he went out. So he could come back and be a target monster at the expense of Fant. But I would still go Fant,
half
John.
Of one game.
I would still go Fant. Thank you very much for the super chat.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Is Prescott definitely out? Yeah, right?
No. It's now been pushed to a game time decision. Basically, It's a situation you want to entirely at this point. You got to avoid Dak. If you can pivot off in Superflex, pick up Cooper Rush if you have to. But in one quarterback, get off Dak. I know it's Sunday night and he could get activated, but I wouldn't play that game. Even if he's active, he's going to be playing less than 100%, which players can come through all the time playing less than 100%, but it's been wishy-washy. Is he he's a game time call. It was there was a sleeper update. Was it yesterday? Cooper Rush might be expected to start. It's a gross situation right now. I would be looking to avoid Dak if I have anything resembling a somewhat decent alternative option.
So how far would you go with that? If you had like Daniel Jones, would you swerve to Daniel Jones? If you had
Yes,
Kirk
because
Cousins,
that's
would you
easy.
swerve
That's
to Kirk
easy.
Cousins? If you had Matt Ryan, would you swerve to Matt Ryan?
Yes and yes. Here's the thing
Okay.
about Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones doesn't play until Monday night, so that's a luxury situation this week,
There you
because
go.
if you know Dak is going to play,
Right.
well then maybe you decide you go with him. But if he's out, you still have Daniel Jones the very next night. It's when you have a 1 p.m. or a 4 p.m. quarterback versus a Sunday night quarterback where like the decision can get difficult. But in this scenario, yeah, I'm pivoting to Cousins if I have to. And actually Cousins makes it easy as well because he's the Sunday night quarterback.
True.
So that's an easy swerve. But like Matt Ryan, the Falcons either play at 1 o'clock or 4. I think it's 1 o'clock. I would play Ryan over Dak right now. There's a lot of quarterbacks I would play over Dak right now just because I cannot bank on Dak playing.
Where's the breaking point?
Like Cooper Rush.
Okay.
Like, I mean, okay, fine. Maybe like,
All right.
I mean, maybe like
All right.
Darnold, because Darnold got benched last week. So like, there's not really you can't really feel that great about Sam Darnold right now.
Matt White?
Even in a good matchup. Mike White. Mike White. I'm hoping Dak plays, and if he doesn't, I'm just grabbing Cooper Rush. Sorry, Mike White. The Jets are playing the Bengals. No, the Bengals are good on defense. No, okay, so that would. So
Yeah.
you kind of get the idea. We're talking about the bottom of the barrel is my
Right.
that's my breaking point.
Yeah.
It's just the situation sucks. It's Sunday night. Everybody else will have played, and if Dak is ruled out, you might be sitting there with a guy, even a QB2 performance on your bench would be better than Cooper Rush, most likely. So I'm willing to go pretty far down the list at this point to replace Dak in one quarterback leagues for sure. And there might be some super flex situations where if you have Daniel Jones, it's an easy pivot, or if you feel like you have to. So yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
well,
moving off Dak this week.
I wasn't super on top of that situation. I know you were. You had done a few videos on it, so yeah, that's good information to know.
Yeah.
Chris M7. I'm breaking my head with Chris Carson. Yeah, man, we'd been
There was another
advising for
update today.
yeah, we had been advising for a few weeks now that you should be selling Chris Carson everywhere you have him, just
if
based
you
off of
can.
name
It's-
recognition before the news got too bad, because we're dealing with structural neck issues for the most violent running back in the NFL. As far as rushing style, his over the past few years, somebody who has picked up his fair share of injuries. So yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one with Chris Carson. Odds are right now you're just gonna have to stick it out with him because of all of the bad press that's surrounding
Well,
him.
he's
right
he's a drop at this point if you need even an
in
IR
season
spot.
long, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a drop at this point. Pete Carroll is like notoriously known as a coach to look glass half full and try to provide optimistic updates.
How long has he been optimistic as anybody on Rashad Penny?
Yeah,
He's
I
been
don't even wanna get
optimistic.
into
He's been
that.
saying Rashad Penny looks like he's better than ever for the past 2 seasons.
You can't believe anything that comes
Yeah.
out of Pete Carroll's
No.
mouth. But when Pete Carroll is not optimistic, that's when you know it's like really
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
And he said there's no update. There's no he's still without a timetable. As far as I'm concerned, and I would love to be wrong about this, Chris Carson has played his last snap this season. I think that's the case. He's my most owned running back in best ball, so go me.
Oh man.
I think
It
it's
happens.
I'm okay. I'm all right. I drafted Deontay in the 5th round everywhere. I'm fine.
There you go. I'm not feeling bad for you, bro, but
I'm not asking you to.
I feel bad
but
for
I
Chris
think-
M7.
I feel bad for Chris Carson, and right, of
Yeah.
course, if you have Chris Carson in a league that you care about, you're passionate about, you want to win, you're probably looking at it's a lost scenario this year. I would love to be wrong. I would love for Chris Carson to come back this season. More likely, more realistic, maybe. I hope he can come back in 2022. But yeah, like you said, structural damage to your neck. We're playing with a man's livelihood here. I have no interest in having to, in that. If I'm a team doctor or whatever, which I'm not, it's like you got to err on every single side of caution. prepare to have other plans ready to go for the rest of the season if you have Chris Carson.
Yeah, if you have structural neck issues, the last thing you should be doing is playing the most violent position in the most violent league in the world. At the one of the most violent sports in the world. That doesn't equate. So yeah, I'd be running away from Chris Carson if I had him. And as a result, bro, I am kicking myself a little bit because I was not very high on DJ Dallas coming into the season, and now I'm pretty high on him moving forward.
Well, I think it's a kind of a gross committee because
it
Alex
is a
Collins
gross committee, but I do think he's
involved.
He's the youngest, best guy, most versatile skill set there. I mean, we've seen this team elevate running backs out of nowhere like Chris Carson. So, if I'm in Dynasty, I like DJ Dallas, and I
if you're in
not
Dynasty,
coming into the season. Chuck, man, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Chuck. Your Spartans had a huge win today. By the way, Kenneth Walker is a damn house. 5 touchdowns.
Jeez.
He's the 2022 1.01. I'll plant my flag on that. I don't know who else would go ahead of him right now. Maybe even in Superflex Dynasty leagues, just because the quarterback class is so weak.
Yeah. By all accounts, everybody's falling down draft boards already. At a position with like quarterback where people are usually climbing up draft boards, so it's interesting. But
Kenneth Walker is
5 touchdowns,
monster.
5 touchdowns in
almost
one outing.
200 yards.
Pretty damn impressive.
He crushed it. He killed Michigan. He absolutely killed Michigan. That was pretty wild, pretty fun to watch. So yeah, it's gonna be a party in East Lansing all weekend long. So happy Halloween, happy big day Saturday for Michigan State.
And thanks for the kind words. Appreciate it. Definitely.
Appreciate that, Chuck. But
flex of the week.
Gibson,
Antonio
Collins,
Gibson,
Lockett.
Yeah.
Gibson.
Yeah.
Gibson. This is all I have to say.
Yeah.
This is the first time, and I think since week 3, that Gibson practiced on Wednesday. He got a limited practice in on Wednesday, and he was removed from the injury report pretty quickly. The last time we saw that, Gibson, I don't remember where his specific finish was for that week, but he was an RB1.
All I know is if they're both,
I know the matchup
isn't
isn't
both
great,
questionable and they're both not healthy right now,
player.
I'm going Gibson. And Lockett is playing with Geno Smith right now and hasn't been and wasn't lighting the world on fire with Russell Wilson over the last few weeks
outside
of
the
the
first
season.
2 weeks.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going Gibson there. No brainer for me. Gibson.
Jacksonville is they're in the bottom half as far as fantasy points allowed to wide receivers. It's not as good as a matchup as you might think. The Broncos just got gashed by D'Ernest Johnson. I know they're at home this week, but I'm going Gibson.
You mean Barry Sanders?
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Hey, gotta throw some love to D'Ernest, bro.
Sure.
Story of the year, bro.
Right.
Love that guy.
Well, at least for now.
Montario Hardesty 2.0. How's that?
Stop.
There you go. AB. I'm stashing A-Rob, hoping for a trade, or if Justin Fields adjusts. Tell me I'm crazy.
Am I crazy?
Yeah.
A trade's not happening. I don't think.
No.
Although the Bears would probably be smart to do it, but the Bears would also be smart to fire Matt Nagy, but that hasn't happened yet either. So I would say you have to hold him, AB. You have to hold A-Rob, because we still have a whole second half of the season to get through, and he's still the number 1 wide receiver. There was a play. He was running wide open.
Yeah, I caught that one, man.
He was running wide open, and Fields just missed him.
Yeah.
Just didn't see it. Robinson didn't all of a sudden start to suck overnight. That didn't happen. He's still good. It's just a bad overall situation for him.
For how heralded this draft class was as far as quarterbacks, it's kind of interesting to see.
I liked Fields coming in.
Yeah, how much struggles pretty much everybody outside of and including Trevor Lawrence have had. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
None of them have been
you just gotta sit pat with A-Rob and hope for better days. I believe better days are coming. I don't know if it's this season, and then he's elsewhere, and then he can kind of decide his destiny on the open market. But for this season, yeah, you gotta unless somebody's willing to pay the price
more than they should.
Yeah, something like approaching what he was valued at the beginning of the season, which I don't see anybody doing.
No shot. No shot. No chance.
Then you probably just gotta hold him till the end of the year, and you gotta take it as a loss if it never develops into anything. But yeah, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because he was somebody that we were touting all off season. He was the wide receiver
Always
12 in
on
back-to-back seasons with bad quarterback play. So we thought he was bad quarterback play immune, and it's clear he's not. So it's interesting.
But yeah, hope for the best, AB, and thanks for the kind words. We're happy you found us too.
Yeah, definitely, bro. Would
John,
you pick
you're
up? Oh, we got
another super chat.
Damn, bro. John, thank you so much.
John, you're too kind, man.
You got
All right,
another.
let's see what we got.
You got another one here. Other 5 team. Oh, there we go. Yeah.
5 team. Got pick 3. Javonte, Elijah Mitchell, Carter, Cooks, Hardman, Penny. The first 3 are Javonte, Elijah. Well, I guess to your point, John, if Jaylen Ramsey's not playing, I would feel better about Cooks. But if Ramsey is going,
Tyrod is not playing. Tyrod is out, and we had speculated that he was going to be in, which would have provided a boost to Brandon Cooks. But
that's not going to be the case this week.
Jaylen Ramsey questionable, or at least, some sort of a question mark coming into this game, not completely healthy. I would put Brandon Cooks over Michael Carter. I would put Brandon Cooks over Michael Carter. But I would go Javonte, Elijah.
Javonte and Elijah for sure.
Yeah, but with Mike White at quarterback,
I
know they're going to rely on running back a lot, presumably. But
Carter's going to get volume.
Ty Johnson is still mixing in there a fair amount. So
Cincinnati's in the top 10,
the ceiling play for me is Javonte, Elijah, Cooks. Yeah. Yep.
Okay. I don't hate it. I don't hate Cooks over Carter just because the situation with the Jets is not great right now. But yeah, Carter might get 20, 25 touches.
Yeah.
Carter might get 20, 25 touches.
He could. It's a situation where how much is he doing with them?
Feel good.
And then
it doesn't feel good.
I believe that Cooks is going to get his fair share of air yards, just like he has in every single game this year. And he's a super producer. He's that boom wide receiver 1 week guy.
All it takes is one play.
He can get you that. Even with Davis Mills, and even though he has slumped over the past few games, his matchups get a lot better after this game as well. So something to think about.
Expect some garbage time opportunities as well. They're going to be.
Brandon Cooks could get traded after this game, bro. They might try to showcase him and ship him out of here. Talking about showcasing players on the Texans. Yeah, I think it's going to be Brandon Cooks.
Could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I expect the Rams to be winning this game, so Houston will be throwing. So, yeah, I don't mind Cooks over Carter, but definitely Javonte and Elijah. And then Tanny or Lawrence. I mean, I think I'm inclined to say Lawrence just because the Seahawks have been getting crushed by everybody. Seahawks are getting killed by everybody. They're awful against most positions for fantasy. The Jags are coming off their bye week.
Yeah, and he's I mean, it's not his full weapon. It's not his full closet of weapons there. Chark isn't in and stuff, but
still
he's been doing well with Agnew, and he's been doing well with the guys that he has had. And they're
on the road, so they're
Dan
not going to
Arnold
stop
too.
throwing.
James Robinson has been very, very good over the past few games.
I would go Lawrence. I think
I go Lawrence too.
Like, he might throw some picks, but you just live with that.
If Julio was all the way healthy, maybe Tannehill, maybe.
But he's out. Yeah, but he's not. Yeah, I would go Lawrence.
Yeah, I would
and then between the Browns and the Pats, the Patriots are going against Justin Herbert. The Browns are going up against a dead Ben Roethlisberger.
And the Pats defense hasn't been as good since Stephon Gilmore got shipped out of town.
I think there's some morale issues in New England because of that or something. Maybe
they're just not as stout on the back end of their defense. I mean, that's
not that Gilmore played for them this year, but maybe
right.
they were expecting, the players were expecting he would eventually.
When I drafted him, I was expecting when I drafted that defense at the beginning of this season, I expected him to come back at some point and bolster that defense, and that's not going to be the case. So,
nope. I would go the Browns. But yeah, appreciate the support, John. But we do have some other questions in here that we should get to.
Yep.
Eduardo, would you pick up the Vikings defense if Dak is out? Yes. I mean, sure. If you need a play.
Well, judging by your take on him, you would play the Vikings defense if Dak is in.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. But if Cooper Rush is in, sure. Your opportunities for sacks and turnovers
that one's an
up.
obvious yes. But I did want to throw that out there because you were so down on. I mean, you are so down on playing Dak if you have him.
Well, when you're hurt, when you're a game time call, like
it just makes it difficult.
It doesn't. I don't necessarily want to start the opposing defense just because of that scenario. But if the backup quarterback is in on the road, then yes, I do like that. I do like the defense in that situation, and the Vikings have been good regardless. So yes, Eduardo, that's fine to pivot to them if you don't have another obvious defense to play.
Hobo Fraggins, what's going on?
What's up, Hobo Fraggins?
Would you start Danny Dimes over Taylor Heineke?
Yes, I would. I would.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Kadarius Toney is going to play, and
if it's between Danny
Kadarius
Dimes
Toney
and Taylor Heineke,
Sterling Shepard is questionable right now, but it looks like
he'll run. The Chiefs are giving up tons of points to quarterbacks. Denver's not like stellar on defense, but they're better than the Chiefs right now. And to quarterbacks. I think they're top 3 against quarterbacks for specifically the Broncos are. So that's actually kind of an easy call for me. Danny Dimes.
Yeah, Taylor Heineke's only weapon this season has been Terry McLaurin and whoever's playing tight end. Yeah. Like that's really been it. If we think it's going to be an Antonio Gibson game, then that's less of a chance it's going to be a Taylor Heineke game too. Mm-hmm. So I would go Danny Dimes too over Taylor Heineke. I think he will have enough weapons to put up a decent game.
Yep.
And again, it's not a question of who has more weapons because Taylor Heineke really only has 1.5.
He has one excellent one, but
yeah,
not a good situation. Danny
Slim,
Dimes.
what's
up,
going
Slim?
on? You already know about that hashtag?
Yeah, you know.
Dallas D or Minnesota D?
The Vikings. The Dallas defense has been strong this year, but the situation for the Vikings is just better. Probably they're either playing a hobbled Dak or a backup quarterback. I would play the Vikings. I would go with the Vikings, especially if Cooper Rush.
Are they your stream of the week for defenses? If Cooper Rush is playing?
No, probably not. That would probably fall to the Bengals just because they get Mike White.
Okay. Right.
And it's the Jets.
Yeah.
That would go to the stream. The defensive stream of the week would be the Bengals. But the Vikings are just fine if Cooper Rush plays. And the advantage to being between Dallas and Minnesota is they play each other. So you'll know for sure who the quarterback is for Dallas before you have to make the call. But I think I would go with the Vikings because even if Dak plays, he's not going to be 100%. But if Cooper Rush plays, absolutely the Vikings defense.
Hobo Fraggins with another defense question. Falcons DST or Panthers DST?
Yeah, I would stick with the Panthers for one more week just because they have been, at least for, if you look at the whole body of work over the course of the season, I know it's kind of front loaded for the first 3 games for Carolina, but they have been the better team and they're still pretty strong against running backs. Here's the thing. As a unit, I like the Panthers better, but if you think Darnold is going to struggle again, then the Falcons might be more of an opportunity.
Which might be a good bet. I mean, it might be a good bet to expect Darnold to struggle again. And it is Darnold we're talking about. That whole Darnold's rushing for 2 touchdowns a game thing was the biggest fluke in the whole in maybe that I've ever seen
that
from
that wasn't gonna keep
the quarterback
pace, was
position.
it?
Yeah, in a while.
I think I would still slightly lean the Panthers because they have more playmakers on defense.
Yep,
I would give a slight edge to Carolina.
Slim Reaper, 4 backs to start. Elijah Mitchell, Gainwell, Gaskin, and Herbert start 3 PPR. I would go Elijah Mitchell, Kenneth Gainwell, and Khalil Herbert. I would be off Gaskin because he's playing the Bills defense, who I believe they are right now ranked the worst defense in the league against running backs right now, giving up 15.3 or 15.8. I'm not sure
they're not
offhand.
First, they're second.
But they've played
them in San Francisco.
and they've played Derrick Henry, who had a crazy game against them where he scored 2 touchdowns and at least maybe more. Possibly he had more, and he went well over 100 yards. He might have had 3. He probably had 3. Let's be real. It's Derrick Henry. So they are the best team against running backs, and they've already played a 3-touchdown, 100+ yard Derrick Henry game. They're only giving up an average of 15.8 fantasy points to opposing running backs. Like, all of them in one game. So, I'm staying completely away from that matchup, even though I do like the fact that Gaskin has a larger workload ahead of him with Malcolm Brown going on IR. But I'm off of Gaskin for this week, and then I'm on him for the next 2 games.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mitchell, Gainwell, Herbert.
Do you agree? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm in on that.
Cool. D-Jack on the Slim with D-Jack on the trade block. Should I keep Van Jefferson or drop him for? Yeah.
No, don't drop him for.
I would keep Van
Samaje?
Jefferson. I don't know.
Van.
I don't know how likely it is that Deshaun Jackson gets traded. I don't know how much of a hot commodity he is.
Even if he doesn't get traded, Van Jefferson is over him on the depth chart.
Yeah. And,
I would keep Van.
He wants out because he's not playing, because Van Jefferson is playing in his stead. He's playing so yeah, I would, regardless of what happens with D-Jack, keep playing Jefferson. Keep hold of Jefferson. And then if D-Jack does get traded, then all the better for Van Jefferson, but I would not drop him for Perrine.
Nah, especially Slim if you've got Kupp. I mean, Van's a little bit of a security blanket there.
Right.
Just in case.
And you got to wait an extra week for Gallup to come back. So.
Right.
Yeah.
But he's coming back.
DW Ethiopia. I need to start 2 from my wide receiver 2 in flex. Sutton, Devonta Smith, Jaylen Waddle, Julio Jones, and Darrell Williams. Which 2? Well, Sutton and
Darrell Williams. Sutton and Darrell Williams.
Okay.
That's easy, to be honest with you. Devonta Smith's got a pretty solid matchup, but Cortland Sutton's my wide receiver start of the week.
You can't trust any.
I can't trust the Eagles
right
now. I can't trust the Eagles right now. Sutton's my start of the week at wide receiver. The Washington football team are giving up the most, actually by a solid margin, the most fantasy points to wide receivers this year. I know Jerry Judy's back, but it's his first game back. He's probably going to be on a pitch count. Sutton, I think, without a doubt, at least for this week, still operates as the clear number 1 wide receiver. Got to go Sutton. And then, I mean, Darrell Williams is a starting running back for the Chiefs in what should be a get-right game for Kansas City. They're playing the Giants at home. Darrell Williams is going to get work, and the Giants stink against running backs.
And we've seen what Sutton he can do when he gets the majority of the work, and the offense is on. Yeah, and he comes through. It's 24 plus or 20 plus points, so he could do it. Darrell Williams, even though he is a backup.
Sutton and Darrell Williams.
Yeah. Clamp Nuts, love the name. Cole Beasley was just dropped in my league. Should I pick? Oh, Clamp Nuts.
That's a winner.
That's great. Yeah, you should pick him up. It's going to be a great week.
Yes, you should pick him up.
Going to be a great week for Cole Beasley. Nick just put out a video on Cole Beasley. Called him one of his starts of the week this week just because Dawson Knox is out playing Miami. Typically a team they run up points on.
The Bills don't take their foot off the gas even in blowouts.
Especially against Miami. For some reason, not for some reason, it's a divisional opponent.
They've been recently crushing Miami, like not just their first matchup this year. Like last year, they killed them.
Yeah,
they've been scoring at will against the Dolphins.
Josh Allen has 17 touchdowns against the Dolphins. He has 9 against the second most team.
The Patriots or Jets.
Probably
the Jets.
Yeah.
So he owns the Dolphins. Josh Allen does. Beasley has seen 9 or more targets in half of his games. No Dawson Knox. Miami gives up top 3 production to wide receivers. You could start him Beasley this week if you really felt like you had to. So yeah, pick him up.
Beasley's a start this week. Emmanuel Sanders is a start this week. Zach Moss is a start this week. Devin Singletary if you need him. Yeah, pretty much. Not Tommy Sweeney. I'm not quite there on Tommy Sweeney. I know he's been a hot name out there, but I'm not quite there on him. But yeah, start all your Bills. Yep. Official McLovin, Judy or Mitchell? Mitchell guys, I would go Mitchell.
Yeah, I would go Mitchell just because Judy will be on it. I don't want to say is likely to be on a snap count. Mitchell is guaranteed to get work.
Yeah, I want to see Judy come back and get the target share that he was getting at the beginning of the season first before I trust him over a guy like Mitchell, who again is one of the 32 starting running backs in the league right now. So
they're playing the Bears, right?
I believe so.
San Francisco. Bears are actually not as, they're middle of the pack against running backs. So I would go Mitchell. I know it's a beautiful matchup for Judy. That's the one thing. I've been to start your wide receivers against Washington, but if you're between him and a starting running back, I would give an edge to the running back.
I would too. I agree.
Yeah.
AM, Justin Herbert and Sutton for Bills Mafia. I'm not sure what the question is there.
Are you getting Allen and Diggs?
that would be insane.
That would be an easy.
Yeah, I would say yes. Buy that stack. That's one of the
AM,
most underrated stacks this year.
Who specifically is Bills Mafia? But let us know because Herbert's great and Sutton. I love Sutton this week. So yeah. Let us know about that one.
Slim interested to see where Mac ends up. Buffalo would be a good spot. Now, a report did come out that they did cut Jordan Wilkins.
They did.
So
they cut Jordan Wilkins. I think that's a sign Mac is staying.
Yeah, it might look like, or it looks like Mac is staying, as Nick just said.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if he ends up anywhere, and I'm not sure that Buffalo would be looking for another running back because they have 2 pretty good ones who are both healthy right now. There are many more teams out there that need RB help over the Bills right now. I mean, the Ravens technically still need. I could see them trying to still figure it out. The Texans, obviously, even though I think they're more sellers than buyers at this point. I don't see it for the Bills though. I think they're pretty much a complete squad as they're built right now.
Yeah, I think Mac is staying put.
Cali Loco, start Perrine or Collins or DeErnest.
Oof. Is this Samaje? I mean, is Mixon on the injury report? I know Perrine mixed in a good amount.
I don't
no pun intended.
think so. I haven't seen anything about Mixon being on
Mixon's
the injury
fine.
report. I
He's
just
not
think
on
that he's just we're seeing a lot of Perrine. We're seeing
he's
getting
Perrine. Mixed in garbage time though. Like a lot of his snaps a lot of his production came with the game out of hand.
Yeah.
When they were just holding Mixon out. I can't say Collins because Collins, even though he might lead the Seahawks backfield in snaps and touches, he's questionable. He's banged up, and Penny is there, and DJ Dallas is there. None of these guys are spectacular, but it's a gross 3-headed monster on what's pretty bad.
Travis Homer, right any given Sunday. I don't.
Yeah. Maybe a slight edge to DeErnest Johnson just because Kareem Hunt's going to miss another game. I know DeErnest Johnson doesn't slot right into a traditional Kareem Hunt role.
I think he does. If you look at what Nick Chubb in the game that he played with Nick Chubb last season, the game after he had that breakout 13 rush game where he had 90-something yards and a touchdown. The game after that, he was still much lesser of a role, but he played pass catching back. He did. So I think he's fantasy relevant this week. I think you could start him over all those guys.
He's probably the guy
until Hunt is back.
He's probably the guy who has the best bet to have some work of like some meaningful work of those three guys. Like P. Ryan could come in and help salt the game away. But
D'Ernest is going to be part of their game plan, and it's a good rushing team. It's not like Collins, who's going to be part of the game plan, but he's banged up, and it's a bad rushing team right now, a bad everything team right now.
Yeah.
I would go D'Ernest, even though I wouldn't be rushing to start any of those guys, but out of those three, I would go D'Ernest. J2 Nice, who would you start at? I mean, yeah, you agree, right?
I think so. I think so. Like Collins might lead the league or might lead the Seahawks backfield in snaps and touches, but he also might, like, if he might be closer to being one hit away from having to exit the game if he's coming in questionable. Collins feels a little bit dicier.
Yeah, I'm going to Ernest.
I guess to Ernest.
Going to Ernest.
I guess to Ernest.
J2 Nice, what's going on? Who would you start at flex? My starting wide receivers are Sutton, Claypool. My starting running backs are Zeke and Elijah Mitchell. On my bench, I got Hubbard, Marvin Jones, Jerry Judy, Antonio Gibson. Would you switch one of these out?
I want to say my heart says switch Gibson out for Mitchell. My head says I understand that it's like it on paper looks like a more difficult matchup for Gibson. Therefore, I understand why you may not want to play him. But I think I got to put Gibson in over Mitchell.
It's not a bad swerve to have Mitchell in there over Gibson, but I think we're still at the point where you're still starting your studs, man.
Yeah,
you're still starting your studs.
Gibson qualifies as a don't I think I would play Gibson, Jay.
Zeke and Gibson, Sutton and Claypool are decent. I don't think I would go anybody else in your wide receiver core over either of those guys. But if I was to sub anybody out, it would be Claypool. But I think both of those guys are solidified in your lineup right now.
I think, Claypool's fine. I mean, he's a little bit boom bust. There's no doubt. But,
yeah,
I mean, there's no juju. Like, Claypool's going to be on the field all game.
No, I like that lineup with Mitchell switched out for Gibson. I like that a lot.
I would switch in Gibson. I know there's some built-in downside, but he's just the better player. And, again, I'm going to keep – I think this is important. I think this is a factor. He practiced on Wednesday, like it limited, but Gibson got in a full week of practice. I think he's like getting over the shin issue. I think this is I think he's trending in the right. I think he's trending in the right direction. And this offense needs
playmakers, like we said, it's Terry McLaurin, whoever's playing tight end, and nobody else, because they haven't gotten anything from Curtis Samuel. They haven't gotten anything from De'Ami Brown. J.D. McKissick has been relevant there. He has been very up and down though.
Right. This is McKissick has been like even week McKissick. He's been crap on odd weeks and great on even weeks. So it's an even week, week 8. So McKissick might pop.
Going with that narrative.
Yeah, I am, because it's real.
That trend.
Look at his splits. It's wild. He was a dud last week, which means he'll probably pop this week. But no, I'm putting Gibson in my lineup, and
I tried to follow that kind of line of thinking with Matt Ryan, because he had one season where he was QB2 and then QB 12 and then QB2 and then QB something else and then QB2, and he did it for like a good stretch there, and then I tried to chase it and it killed me everywhere. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't chase that line of thinking anymore.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
But I would play Gibson. I'll play Gibson over Mitchell.
Jamal Agnew, rest of season. Now, he's had the past 2 weeks for
Jamal Agnew.
Let me pull him up. His snap
been
counts
putting in work.
The last 2 weeks.
Yep.
So anybody
Go
out
for
there,
it.
he's not a
I'll
bad
just say,
pickup. He's
I
not a bad pickup.
I said earlier I think he stole LaVisca Chenault's job. I think he stole his job. I think he took it from him. He just straight said, "This is mine now."
Yeah, 63% of snaps in week 5, 59% of snaps week 6. In week 5, 7 targets for 6 receptions, 41 yards. Week 6 against Miami, 6 targets, 5 receptions, 78 yards. So that's a decent workload, and their schedule doesn't get heavy for a while.
It's not scary.
They play
DJ
Buffalo
Chark is
within the
gone.
next few games, but like there's
That's fine. Chark is gone, and I think Agnew. I think he's over Chenault at this point. I mean, maybe I'm wrong for rest of season, but he's been more productive, at least relative to expectations.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. If it's if you got an open roster spot and you're like, if the options are thin, but he's there. I mean, yeah, sure. Go for it. I mean,
never would have seen it coming, but there you go. Yeah, Jamal Agnew, wide receiver 3 rest of season, low end wide receiver 3 rest of season, high end wide receiver 4.
Maybe
toeing that line. Yeah.
Low end wide receiver.
We got
3.
a question for you up next from Slim Reaper. Because you are the kicker whisperer. So I'm gonna leave this one all to you. I don't got anything for this one. And Marcus Brown, thank you for your super chat. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Marcus. Thanks, man. I do see his I see his comment. It's actually right below. He traded Patterson and Ridley for AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones. Yeah, that's interesting. Still have AJ. Okay. I mean, yeah, you get the Packers back. I mean, Aaron Jones is Aaron Jones is running back one.
You still have good wide receivers.
I'm fine with that trade.
And with Tunyon going down, I think AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones get a little bit of a boost. And I just did a video on the fallout of the Robert Tunyon injury, and it does vacate about 3.5 targets a game in the short to intermediate pass game. And I did not say anything about the running backs. And I think
3 of those go to Jones, one of those go to Dillon.
On my part. So yeah.
I think that's fine. I think that's fine, Marcus. I got no issue with that.
Yep.
I mean, Ridley could pop at any given Sunday.
I think if you could divest yourself ofRidley and get a wide receiver,
you got an RB1,
running back,
you got an RB1 in Jones. I'm good with it.
Yeah, and his handcuff, a high end handcuff.
I'm good with that.
Who you can play, like a high end.
Yep.
It's hard to find those high end handcuffs who you can play right now as well. It's not Alexander Madison. He's a high-end handcuff, but you can't play him right now if Dalvin Cook's
right. You don't play him without Dalvin Cook.
The only running backs that I can think of that are handcuffs that you can play right now are him and Tony Pollard. Right? Sorry about the helicopter noise.
There might be 1 or 2 others, but yeah. No, I like the trade. I mean, I like it a lot.
If you count Cleveland, Kareem Hunt, I don't think of him as a backup.
Yeah, he's not a backup.
Yeah, but either way,
it's a good trade.
That trade looks good, and I like your wide receiver core still. That's a strong wide receiver core. Keenan Allen hasn't been normal Keenan Allen this year, but, I mean, still great. Rashad Bateman should continue to come on strong. Yeah.
You're starting him every week.
Yep.
But with the kickers, Slim, I would say McLaughlin is probably my of those guys. He would be my choice. Pittsburgh's given up, like, top 5 production to kickers this year. It's like very un-Steelers like defense so far this season. I think the Cleveland defense is good enough to cause issues for Roethlisberger, give the Steelers offense some fits. Cleveland, I think, are favored in this game. They're probably like 3-point favorites or something like that at home. I always like teams that are favored to win. That I like that for kickers. And the Steelers are top 5 in points allowed to kickers for fantasy purposes this year. So I would go McLaughlin, and then Greg Joseph would be my second up. Dallas isn't giving up tons of points to kickers, but if Cooper Rush is in, the Vikings defense has an exponentially better chance to create short fields, create more opportunities for the offense. I would go McLaughlin number 1, and then Greg Joseph number 2 between those options.
And the kicker whisperer has spoken. There you go, guys. If you have any more kicker questions, you know where to direct them. Not to me.
I got you.
Not to me.
Not
Just
right.
John Wagner, if Tony doesn't play, Robert Myers?
Myers, who touchdowns have eluded him for his entire career.
It's been
or Robinson.
It's been a Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith out there the past few weeks. Even Nelson Aguilar has gotten touchdowns over Myers.
I would go Myers.
It's crazy that we're there, but yeah.
It is wild that we're there, but I would go Myers.
I would too, and it hurts.
It's
I
wild.
would just hope
Myers.
Tony plays. I think Tony plays. I think he's.
Well, you're not going to be able to. You can't rely on that though because it's Monday night.
Right. True.
Can't rely on
True.
it. I mean, let's
so
put it this
hopefully
way.
we get some news over the next.
Before in the next 12 hours.
Yeah,
or
by kickoff.
15 hours. I would say if you don't want to play those two, and you want to hold out hope for Tony, pick up like Byron Pringle. Because then if Tony can't go, then at least you have like a backup for that game. And Pringle's not going to get more than a couple of looks, but
he's been the secondary wide receiver in the Chiefs to own. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I would go. My first choice would be Myers, and if you really don't want to do it, if you like deep down you're like I really don't want to do this, then I would pick up Byron Pringle. Then you could keep Tony in there, and if Tony doesn't go, you could play Pringle, something like that.
There you go, John. I hope it helps. Diamond Gamer, who wins this trade? Chris Godwin, Damian Harris, and Jaylen Waddle for Deontay Johnson and Darrell Henderson.
Ooh.
That is close. That's pretty close.
That is close.
Because between Chris Godwin and Deontay Johnson, it's kind of a wash. And then it's really Damian Harris and Jaylen Waddle or Darrell Henderson. And Darrell Henderson has the higher weekly upside over Damian Harris.
Yeah. I think getting that third piece pushes me to the Godwin side. Plus, not to mention, Antonio Brown is out this week and has now missed 3 games so far this year. So he's been a little kind of in and out of the lineup, AB has. I know last week was a Mike Evans week, but Tom Brady's leading the league in touchdown passes, so Godwin remains a high-end option. Not that Deontay doesn't, but getting Jaylen Waddle in on that side as well, and Harris is still the RB1 for his team. I think I lean the Godwin side. I love Deontay. The fact that I'm saying that a Deontay side is not the winner of a trade.
I thought for sure he would be saying Deontay
for
and
a second.
Darrell
I thought
is
I
a
would
win.
because I like Darrell Henderson too. I like them both. I think Darrell Henderson's an RB1 for the rest of the season, but I think Damian Harris is not that far behind. Godwin and Waddle. I think I would take the.
I mean, and then there's the speculation
like
with Deshaun Watson going to Miami, and we all know that right now he would play if he got traded. So that's all speculation and completely up in the air, and we can't be making any bets based on that. But
I slightly lean the Godwin side. It's close. It's not like if you're. Diamond, if you're the one who took the Deontay, if you're getting Deontay, you didn't. I wouldn't say it's a loss. I think it's pretty fair. I think it's a pretty fair trade. But I think
it depends on your depth. I think it depends on your depth. If you have wide receivers galore and it's like if you're not taking a hit there at wide receiver that much. I mean, if you still have, tell us what you still have. Tell us what you still have. I think if you are making that trade to bolster your starting lineup for a playoff push, I think that's fine if you have the pieces to fill in the back end. Mm-hmm. It all depends on the position that you're working from. Mm-hmm. In a vacuum, yes, I would agree. But I wanna let us know if you're still in the chat here, who your wide receivers are.
Yeah, okay, that works.
King Lieno, what's going on? Chuba or Gainwell this week? That's tough.
I know you like Gainwell.
I like Gainwell, but like Chuba's been getting 15 rushes on the ground and his fair share of targets every week. And I know the past few weeks haven't been as good for him, but he's getting an RB1 workload. I know Gainwell will too. They're both offenses that I'm not really inclined to be trusting right now. But one of these offenses has a rushing touch quarterback that siphons work on the goal line, right, and one doesn't. I mean, I know Darnold has this year, but I think I go Chuba. But I think they're like back to back. If I was to give rankings, I think
it's a slight edge to Chuba, but the matchup is heavily in Gainwell's favor. Like heavily. The Detroit Lions are giving up lots of production to running backs. The Falcons are giving up less production to running backs.
Actually, I wasn't even thinking about that. The Lions are giving up the most fantasy points to opposing running backs, so they were through 6 weeks. I don't know where they
I think
fell
they're
in
like
last
they're
week.
in the top 5. They're in the top 5. I don't know if they're at
Through
the top
the first
spot
6
anymore.
weeks, they were in the top spot, so they might have got knocked off the top spot there. But that is a great matchup for Gainwell, and really the only roadblocks in his way are Jalen Hurts, who's gonna rush on the ground and gonna get goal line work, and the presence of Boston Scott there, who, while Gainwell did get more snaps in that offense after Sanders went down, Boston Scott was still involved, very much so. So
yeah.
It's tough. Chuba really doesn't. Chuba doesn't have anybody. Yeah, I still say slight edge to Chuba because Chuba doesn't have anybody else in that backfield that's taking the work. And again, Dan Arnold not there in the short and intermediate pass game. Isn't Terrence Marshall still banged up?
He's out.
He's out. Right. Play. See, yeah. So I go Chuba. I go Chuba there for those reasons.
I understand. But
being
scared
of
the Panthers' offense. I understand being scared of the. I understand being scared of the Panthers' offense, King, but. Scared of the Eagles offense too.
Yeah. Yep. Ryan Bruv, what's going on? Trade Brandon Cooks for Darren Waller. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yesterday.
Pardon my French, but fuck yes.
Ooh, we're gonna.
I love Cooks. I love Cooks.
Yo, man, this show is for the children. Come on, bro.
Wu-Tang's
for the children.
You gotta learn sooner or later.
To quote ODB.
Start them young. No, look, I know Waller has not been the tight end 2 or top 3 tight end that we have been expecting from him this season, but he's still Darren Waller, and tight end is still a brutal landscape. I think Gronk is still a tight end 1 on the season despite missing like a month. So
yeah,
that just goes to show you.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. Here's the thing: wide receivers are easier to replace than tight ends. They're the most for fantasy purposes. Usually, they're the most replaceable position. Yes, that's a discount for Waller. Yes.
And Brandon Cooks, I mean, he could be talking his way out of, or tweeting his way out of the Texans. He could have a game next week and then go to a situation where he's not getting. He might be getting better targets, but not the same type of workload. And then at the end of the day, he ends up being more low end wide receiver 2 than high end wide receiver 2, low end wide receiver 1. I mean, the workload that he's getting here is borderline irreplaceable, depending on what other team he would go to. I can't think of another team he would go to where he'd get the work that he got.
The answer is yes.
So,
the answer is yes. The answer is yes. Trade for Waller.
Theo Von Miller, what's going on?
What's up, Theo?
I have made 9 trades. Yeah.
You sound like John.
It. Yeah, you sound like me, bro. People like you and me, we have a problem.
Still 8 out of 12 in the league. Oh, so you're not at. Yeah, he doesn't have. You don't have that top pick locked in. Well, you could always trade a couple of picks to move up to number 1, like in the offseason if you had to.
No, that's not what you got those picks for.
Sure it is. It's to get it's to like I can get a difference. Like, let's put it this way. 2022, this class looks kind of weak. Don't you want to just like go get the best guy? Like Kenneth Walker looks like a guy that's worth it to just go get him.
Yeah, oh yeah, okay.
Like, yes, like acquiring a bunch of picks.
I think, yo, don't throw in the towel on losing out quite yet, bro. You could still make some deals.
No. I'm saying in
I
the
know you made
yeah.
you made 9 trades. Make that 10th trade, bro.
I'm saying in the offseason, you can take some of those picks in that treasure chest of picks that you have and trade up to 1.01.
Well, yeah, obviously, but I'd still be working towards
That's what
getting
I was saying.
that one overall this year. So yeah, there's still a.
You mean like on your own accord? Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
keep making them trades, bro. That's what.
Well,
that's
yeah,
what.
of
That's what
course.
being in a dynasty league is all about.
Of course, but if it doesn't work out that way, and you end up,
Then
4th
yes.
or 5th, then
Right.
yeah, take your treasure chest of picks to move up to 1.01.
To get the guys you like, yeah. I mean, mold
to
the
get-
squad
to
in the
get
image
that
that you
dude.
want. Play God with
Yeah.
your squad. That's what dynasty is all about. Play God with your squad, bro.
It's poetic.
I try.
Somebody should turn that into a song. Maybe it's you.
Don't look at me. Theo Von Miller, thank you for your question.
Yeah.
And yo, I'm glad you're out there making trades. I want to be in a league with you, bro. DW Ethiopia, thank you guys for your feedback. Hey, you're welcome, bro.
Yeah.
Glad we could help. If you got any other
appreciate
questions,
it.
throw them in the
Thanks
chat.
thanks
You
for
already
stopping
know.
by.
John Wagner, Mixon is healthy. Yeah,
Oh, that was about
it's about
Perine.
Perine. Yeah.
Yeah. So go to Ernest.
Yep.
Yeah. That's fine. That's fine.
Mitchell Benkowski, what's going on? Heineke or
up,
Fields
Mitchell?
in the superflex spot? I would go Heineke.
Oof.
I would go Heineke. I wouldn't go Fields yet. You can't go Fields yet unless you're trying to lose out like Theo Von Miller and me.
I guess.
I've been rolling with Fields in a superflex league because I'm intentionally trying to lose out just like you, Theo.
You're trying to get that top pick.
Yeah, so I'm rolling with Fields. But if you're trying to win, like the majority of other fantasy managers out there, I would assume you are trying to win, Mitchell. I would go Heineke. I'd go Heineke. It's not even that close for me. Go Heineke.
The Broncos are really strong against quarterbacks for fantasy purposes. I know Fields has been bad. I understand.
Bro.
I understand. They're playing San Francisco.
Fields has been bad.
I know San Francisco's not nearly as scary of a matchup. Denver has been
Right,
good
but
against
are you going to need to put up a ton of points against them, or can you make do running the ball with Khalil Herbert all day?
I'll say this, Mitchell. If you think you need to swing for the fences, if you think you need upside, I am fine saying Fields. I'm fine planting my foot. If you think you need upside, if you're looking at your situation, if you're looking at your lineup, if you're looking at your opponent and you're thinking to yourself, I need an upside play or two, I would say Fields. If you think you can play it safe,
just go Heineke.
then
Just go Heineke, bro. Just go Heineke.
If you need upside, I would say Fields because I think there's a lot of
Is
downside.
anybody else
to
in the
Heineke
chat?
this
We got
week.
22 people in here. Thanks for watching, all you people in the
Yeah,
chat.
thanks
Is
everybody
anybody
for
else
stopping by.
is anybody else going Fields in that situation if you're trying to win?
Only if you need upside. If you need upside, then Fields. It's a terrible matchup for Heineke. The Broncos are good against quarterbacks, and Heineke's not that good. I know Fields isn't either, but it's at least
But Heineke's at least
has
been
a
getting
better
those
matchup.
YOLO balls to McLaurin every week. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that
Gonna have a
continues.
tougher time doing that this week.
Right, but I think that has a better bet to continue than Fields all of a sudden starts carving up defenses with Allen Robinson and Darnell Mooney. I'm sorry, bro.
All I'll say
Heineke.
is if you that's fine. Heineke's fine if you don't feel like you need to play with your back against the wall. If you're playing desperate, if you're 2-5 and you're like, I need a freaking win and my opponent's kind of got a tough lineup, I would swing for the fences on Fields. Because if they both bust, then who cares? But the safe play is Heineke.
AM trade Buffalo. This was in Justin Herbert and Sutton for Buffalo
thing.
defense or trade Buffalo.
I'm
still
confused.
confused.
I'm a little confused by what the ask is.
Yeah, let us know the players for Buffalo, or if you're talking
getting,
about
like,
defense, then no. But I don't know where you're going.
If you're getting Allen and one of his receivers, then sure.
Yeah.
But Herbert and Sutton's a good package. Like those are two good players that I'm not exactly dying to get rid of.
No, I'm not looking to divest myself of
let us know
that duo. But if I'm getting Allen and Diggs, then yeah.
Then yeah, but we'll see.
Lawrence Berry, Lamb, Woods, or Shepard.
Lamb. I know Lamb. he's the best player of the three. I know it's not as good of a situation as it could be, and I know Cooper Rush might play. Lamb is a stud.
Yeah, and you're off of Amari Cooper this week. So
I don't feel great about Cooper.
And you're obviously you're off of Dak this week. To me, it's tough because I really like Woods, but it hasn't.
I know
been
Woods has kind of been solid.
It hasn't been a Woods week over the past few weeks.
He's been okay.
He's come back to earth a little bit.
He's been okay.
Shepard was hyper targeted when he came back, but he exited again, and we haven't seen him for the past few games.
Lamb,
but he's questionable, and we don't have any news on him, so I would say it's down to Lamb or Woods, and Lamb is the ceiling play.
I would
Woods
play
is
the best play.
Lamb's the ceiling play, and I think Woods is the floor play.
I would play Lamb.
I'm torn between both, so default to Lamb in the absence of an opinion from me. Sorry,
Lamb is just better.
Lawrence.
Lamb is just better.
He is just better.
Like, give me the better player.
The quarterback situation. This quarterback situation scares me.
There's built-in downside for Rams pass catchers though, because they may not need to do that much in a matchup against Houston. I know we said that last week about Detroit, but I don't know. Does lightning strike twice?
Could be a Deshaun Jackson showcase week too. If they're really
playing.
trying. Oh, okay.
He's not playing. He's out. So
never mind.
I don't think that matters.
Nope.
Lamb. I would Lamb. Start your studs. I know it's a bad situation, but start your studs.
Rico Baptiste, what's going on, bro? I would go Darrell Williams there, or Darrell Williams
over
or Pittman at the flex.
Yeah,
I would go Darrell Williams there. Pittman hasn't been as, I mean, he's had his weeks. He's had his weeks.
Starting running back.
Yeah,
it's a starting run. Give me Darrell Williams. He's been coming through.
Yep.
It's a great. The Giants are bad against running backs. I think if they're not top 5, they're close. If they're not top 5, they're like top 7 in running back points allowed. Darrell Williams.
Yep. Jack Lee, what's going on? Bench Amari if Dak is out.
Ooh,
yeah.
Playing right into my. I mean, who are your other options?
Dak, Tannehill, or Wentz? I would go Tannehill there, and
Wentz has been sneaky productive actually, but Tannehill's
and I know
got
that
the better matchup.
that Dak Amari stack has not worked out so far this year. Everybody had high hopes for that stack. That's unfortunate that you.
Who are your receivers that you're working with? Who are your other receivers? Because if it's like Laviska Shenault, then I would play Amari.
You're really down on Laviska Shenault. Wow.
I'm as high as I was on him in the offseason. I am now as down on him as I could be.
Wow. How the.
But like I would, but like I'm just trying to think of where's my cutoff? You know what I mean? Like, where's my cutoff for Amari? I would. Jack, let us know who your other wide receivers are. We can figure that out. But to replace Dak, Wentz has been sneaky productive, but I'll give the slight edge to Tannehill because the Colts' defense is not, especially on the back end, is not as good as they were last year.
Yep. Chuck Mann, hey guys, I'm thinking Bills Mafia might be Josh Allen in a trade. Yeah, maybe. If it's some
Herbert
clarification
and Sutton,
directly from the source, man.
If it's Herbert and Sutton just for Allen, unless it's Superflex, there's no way I do that. And even in Superflex, I'm not sure I do that. Herbert's not too far of a downgrade from Allen, and you're giving up Sutton. If it's just Josh Allen, I'm inclined to say no. And I know Allen's awesome.
I still need clarification on what Bills Mafia means.
Man, the Titans are giving up tons of quarterback production too, actually. I'm just like between as far as Tannehill and Wentz. Actually, the Titans are giving up more production to quarterbacks than the Colts are.
Tannehill. I'm going Tannehill.
Am I crazy to want to pivot off? No, I'll say Tannehill.
He's got AJ Brown. That's all he needs. And he's got his backups that he's been playing with all season too.
Colts have a fuller complement of their weapons, of their regular guys.
Yeah, but they're more apt to just run with Jonathan Taylor all game. And I know you could say the same thing about Tannehill too, but it's the same narrative. You're rolling with basically the same narrative. Do you believe in Tannehill, who's been a QB7 and QB8 perennially, and who's had a bad year, but now has his number one weapon back for the first time all season, or do you want Wentz, who's just Wentz?
Wentz has been look. I've been crapping on Wentz all season long, but I gotta give him his props. He's been solid, at least for fantasy purposes, the past few weeks. Like
I'm going
25,
Tannehill.
20, 22 in a garbage situation last week in the rain in a storm against the 49ers, who have been solid. I'll give a slight edge to Tannehill, but Wentz is not a bad option, believe it or not.
There you go.
But yeah, Jack, let us know who your other receivers are for Amari, but we can move on.
Yep. Slim, Agnew, or Van rest of season? I would go Van.
I'll go Van. Better quarterback, better situation.
I would go Van.
I would keep Van.
Lawrence Berry, no Julio doesn't mean much
Wentz.
to me. I know.
Yeah, I know you're not. You don't care about the fact that. See, I'm not off Wentz in that situation. Let's let that marinate. We just spent some time talking about it. If the chat
come back tomorrow. I might be feeling a little different. Come back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Might be feeling a little different.
We will be. If anybody wants to tune in again, we will be going live 10 a.m. Eastern tomorrow as well for any last minute help.
Now I know the past few weeks we've been going right up until kickoff. We're gonna try to do that. We're gonna try to do that for you again tomorrow. But Nick is gonna have to dip out a little bit early because he's going to chill and watch football at a friend's house. Yeah. If Will's in the chat, what's up, Will?
Yeah, he might not be, but I don't know. But anyway, Homer Simpson. What's up, Homer?
Hey.
Jerry Judy or Brandon Cooks against Jaylen Ramsey? Ooh.
Brandon Cooks, because I think I'm pretty sure Jaylen Ramsey is banged up, bro. Let me double check that for certain.
Let's double check that. Jaylen Ramsey is questionable. He missed practice with an illness, so not an injury.
Right.
It's not an injury.
But I mean, is he? That's always questionable right now. I mean.
Yeah, I think it sounds. I feel like if it was COVID, he would be put on the COVID list.
True. Excuse me.
Judy's got a much better matchup, but he's probably going to be on a pitch count. Probably. Judy's got the much better matchup.
I'm going Cooks. I mean, I'm sorry, man. I'm going Cooks.
Upside play is Judy.
If they're both 100% healthy, I'm going Judy. But I'm not sure where Judy is right now, coming back.
Right.
High ankle sprains are notorious. I know he's had ample time to recover, but they're notorious for lingering. And even if they're able to stick it out, lots of times wide receivers aren't as productive once they come back from that high ankle sprain. It lingers with them all season. We saw with Michael Thomas last year. I'm going Brandon Cooks, even though the matchup isn't great. The workload's going to be there, and he's a stud. Jerry Judy's also a stud. I don't know if the workload's going to be there, even though the matchup is better.
I'll say this. This is all I'll say. And I know this is a bit of a cop-out, but also I don't think it doesn't hurt or doesn't help. Homer, if you think you need upside, if you're looking at your situation, you feel like you need upside, I would say Judy, because he has far and away the best matchup. The Washington is giving up by far the most points to wide receivers this year for fantasy. If you think you can play it safe, then Cooks is fine, but there's way more downside. I know it's a bit of a cop-out of an answer, but I kind of like Judy as a dart throw this week, and I put a video out earlier this week advocating to try to pivot off.
Start all your Broncos.
Start all your Broncos and pivot off Brandon Cooks.
Because you were pointing out the Jaylen Ramsey.
Right.
Correlation.
To that point, well, and the Rams in general. To that point, I think I give the slightest of edges to Judy despite the pitch count. But if you think you can play it safe, if you're favored,
but
if you're favored and you like your situation, if you feel like if you are favored this week and you like your situation, then Cooks is fine. But if you feel like you need to make a play like for upside, I would say Judy.
There you go. Hope that helps, Homer. Marcus Brown, my RB1 is Najee, by the way.
So he's got Najee and Aaron Jones now? Yeah, you're set.
Nice.
You're set. Good stuff.
Yeah, Chuck, I'm not real sure. I hope AB puts it in the chat. I haven't seen anything from him.
I haven't.
But maybe he left. But
maybe. I'm not sure. It was kind of hard to read, but.
Yep. Red and gold, what's going on? Do I trust Ayuk in my flex over Waddle? No.
Nah, I can't. I know Debo.
I like
Debo's
Ayuk.
banged up, right?
I like Ayuk to bounce back. I just don't know if it happens this season. And Waddle is their wide receiver 1 right now. And Will Fuller's still not back. I'd go Waddle. Waddle.
Debo's not on the injury report. He's cleared. No, I would go Waddle even in a bad matchup. Ayuk can't be trusted right now.
Yep.
Can't be trusted right now. I would go Waddle. Waddle is a little bit of a PPR machine right now. And I expect game script to favor the Dolphins passing attack. It might be ugly. Like Tua could be looking at multiple turnovers tomorrow, but like a 7-catch, 65-yard game or something. Like I feel like I can expect that from Waddle these days.
Yep.
As a floor. You know what I mean? So I would, and
keep
Waddle
I feel like they're
going to
try to use him away from Tre'Davious White. I think they're going to have Tre'Davious probably going to be on Devontae Parker. So
yeah. Well, he might see Waddle, but Waddle's good enough to make a play.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah.
It's a bad matchup, but he's good enough. I would keep Waddle in over Ayuk.
Kyle, no, what's going on? What's poppin', bro? Need an RB, flex, and have PPR options. Carter, Booker, Michelle, Waddle, Visca. Other starters: Wentz, Ridley, DJ Moore, Pitts, Edmonds.
I think it's Booker.
Think it's Booker.
I think it's Booker.
I mean, even though Sony Michel was one of your starts of the week.
Dart throw.
Okay.
Dart throw. It's not. Yeah. Let's not.
One of your dart throws.
He's not a start of the week. He's a dart throw if you need. Like I put out.
Yeah,
I think
I'd go Booker there just because I know Carter is hot, but
running back
the
and
Jets.
flex.
The Jets.
He needs a flex as well. Running
Waddle.
back and flex. I think I'm inclined to say Booker and Waddle.
Yeah.
Carter's going to get 20 touches tomorrow and burn the both of us.
He's going to get 20 touches for 50 scoreless yards, a few catches.
Oof. No faith. Ye of little faith.
Not
that I love Carter. I don't like the backup.
It's not that I don't like Carter. It's that I don't like that offense.
I don't like the Jets against a good Bengals defense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Booker. I think Saquon has already been ruled out. Has Saquon I feel like I haven't seen it. Has Saquon officially been ruled out? But it's the vibes are bad at best. He's out. Saquon's out. Saquon is out. Booker and Waddle.
Yep.
Booker and Waddle.
If you have any other questions for us, throw it in the chat. Thanks for joining us, Kyle Nohe. Tagicarp, I love your name. That's great.
Magikarp. Play on words. New sub. Oh, thanks for subbing. Appreciate that.
Oh, thanks, bro.
Yeah, welcome aboard. Beasley, Schultz, Myers, David Johnson, Gaskin, start 1.
Beasley.
And it's full PPR. Full PPR, Beasley.
Beasley, yeah.
Yeah, Beasley. No Dawson Knox. The Bills run up the score because they don't care, which is awesome. The Bills are playing Madden. The Bills play Madden, and I love it. Like, all they do is throw the ball.
Especially against Miami. It's great.
Right. They throw the ball. They keep their foot on the gas. They don't let up even in blowouts. I think are they leading the league still in plays per game? If they're not,
I don't know, but
close.
they were up there in point differential. I know that.
I think it's a 10 target game for Beasley.
I think so too.
I think it's a 10 target game for Beasley.
They don't let their foot off the gas when they play Miami, especially. They like to
They like to beat the brakes off of the Dolphins.
And I say we, Bills Mafia, we like
You're
to beat
not
up
suiting
on.
up.
Royal we.
You're there
Bills
in
Mafia.
spirit. I understand.
Yeah,
I understand.
Yeah, shut up.
You shut up.
AM wanted to trade for me, okay? Justin Herbert and Cortland Sutton for me and the rest of Bills Mafia.
Something like that. Something like that. Yeah, Beasley. And then he's got a trade down below. Trading Sanders and Damian Harris for Keenan Allen. Trying 2 for 1 to upgrade, match the other person's needs.
What Sanders? Is it Emmanuel? Is it Miles?
It says trading Sanders and
Sanders. Okay.
Emmanuel Sanders and Damian Harris. I actually maybe like that less because Miles Sanders is hurt and has
Emmanuel Sanders has been really good this year. I don't know if I'm really if I'm trying to package Emmanuel Sanders and Damian Harris for Keenan Allen, and I know Keenan Allen on paper is better than Emmanuel Sanders, but the production has been kind of comparable.
Mm-hmm.
Has it not?
Sanders and Allen
Over the past 7 games?
It's closer than you could ever anticipate.
It's not Damian Harris. The difference between them hasn't been Damian Harris. I don't know if I like that this season. Literally any other season, like hell yeah. This season, I don't know, because the emergence of Mike Williams has really eaten into Keenan Allen's dominance in that wide receiver core. And the dominance that we've seen from Keenan Allen over the past few seasons, he's still great, but he's not. I mean, Mike Williams has established himself finally.
Also, he says his running back. Just looking at his roster, he's got Fournette, Damian Harris, David Johnson, Gaskin. If those are your running backs, I wouldn't want to trade Damian Harris.
Yeah,
I would be trying to acquire a running back. Not if you're trading Damian Harris, get a running back, not a wide receiver. Like if you're trying to trade Damian Harris, maybe flip him with Schultz since you have Darren
can try Emmanuel
Waller.
Sanders, Damian Harris for Brandon Cooks or Godwin. That would be better than Keenan Allen. It would
Godwin would
Godwin
be
better than
better.
Godwin would be better than Keenan Allen. I would be a little bit more in on that, especially considering Antonio Brown's out right now, and we're not. I hope Gronk can stay healthy, but that's always a question mark. So.
Yeah, if anything, I'd be trying to acquire a running back, not trade one away in a deal where I'm not getting one back.
But I'd continue to roll with Emmanuel Sanders and Damian Harris, unless you're unless you're getting like Antonio Gibson or something back. Like
that could be a good buy low.
Maybe shoot for that guy. Maybe shoot for that Tajikart.
Maybe shoot for Gibson, somebody like that. I would be trying to get a running back. With Fournette and Damian Harris are fine, but if you trade one of those two and you're having to start either David Johnson or Gaskin rest of season, I don't feel as good about that.
No, I mean Gaskin again should see an uptick in usage over the next 3 games, but then when Malcolm Brown comes back, you're dealing with the same Gaskin that you have been over the past 6 games, so it's tough. Yeah.
So,
but again, love the name. Thanks for subbing. If you got any other questions for us, let us know. Cali Loco, pick 3, McLaurin, Keenan Allen, Deontay Sutton.
Damn.
Is Keenan Allen the odd man out?
He might be.
That's crazy.
I think he might be.
But for this week, I think he is.
I think he is too. I think Keenan Allen's the odd man out there.
And that's insane. That's insane.
He's gonna get 2 touchdowns. But I can't. I mean, I think Terry is your number 1. Like he has to be in. I like Sutton this week a lot. The matchup couldn't be better.
And you're never sitting Deontay, bro. I know you are never sitting Deontay, and Deontay's been better this year in terms of fantasy.
Yeah, pick one: Randy Moss, Terrell Owens, Deontay Johnson. I'm going Deontay. Just kidding. But I would go Terry. You never can because those first 2 are retired. I would go Terry, Deontay, Sutton. I can't believe I'm saying that with Keenan Allen on the.
Yeah, I'm going that way too, and it is insane. Carlito's Way, what's going on? I love that movie, bro. Pittman or Emmanuel Sanders, PPR. I think I'm going Pittman. I think
probably
the Colts need Pittman to win.
1.
I don't think the Bills need Emmanuel Sanders to win. And if we're projecting that it's going to be a Cole Beasley week because they're not going to roll with so many 2 tight end and 1 tight end sets because Dawson Knox ain't out there, that means Cole Beasley's going to be out there a lot more. And Cole Beasley is Josh Allen's security valve when he's out there, safety valve when out there. So I don't know. I like Emmanuel Sanders
Pittman.
a lot. I'd go Pittman.
I would go Pittman. It's safer. Feels like the role is safer.
I like Emmanuel Sanders a lot, though, so don't get me wrong. Juan Osorio, what's going on? Woods or Judy? We had this question, didn't we?
Did we? No, it was Judy or oh my gosh, Cooks.
Right.
No, it was Lamb, Woods, or Shepard, and then Judy or Cooks.
That's what
so
it
no.
was. Yeah.
In this scenario, I'm going Woods.
I'm going Woods too.
I'm going Woods.
Better quarterback, healthy.
Better quarterback, safer, like a little bit of a safer play. A little bit feels like the role is a little bit more locked in. Woods.
Yep. What's going on, MP? Just traded Patterson and Hollywood for Swift and Anderson. Hollywood was on my bench.
Damn. Beautiful.
I mean, if you're getting Swift, yeah, you want.
You didn't even need Anderson. You don't even need Anderson.
Yeah, that's
Swift is
good job,
good.
bro.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, he's
Well
leading all running backs in targets, receptions, and I believe receiving yards.
Yeah, pour yourself a shot, or however you celebrate.
Yeah,
good trade.
That's great. Good job.
Good
that's
trade.
that's how you.
That's how
move
you
on
sell
from
high.
Cordell Patterson. Yeah.
That's how you sell high.
Yep, and
That's
good
how
job
it's
for
done.
moving out on Hollywood while everybody still is thinking about those first 5 to 6 games.
He's still doing well.
He's still doing
he caught
well,
another
but
40-yard
Rashad Bateman,
touchdown last week.
He's doing
I'm
well,
not worried
but
about.
it's
Not worried about Bateman.
I'll
be honest.
At some point, Bateman's gonna overtake Hollywood. As
Maybe 2 years from now.
Well,
Not this year. Not this year. I'm not ready to go there. Hollywood's gonna remain good. Hollywood's gonna remain.
He's
good
gonna
this
remain
year.
good, but I think the dominant wide receiver in that offense is gonna be Bateman before long.
Maybe next year. Maybe next year. I think it's a Hollywood year. Regardless, getting Swift that's fine. That's exactly what you're looking for.
Yep.
What's up, Mr. Heinen?
What's poppin', Mr. Heinen? Thanks for joining us. PPR, Judy, Hilton, Melvin Gordon, or David Johnson? Yeah, it's Judy. Or Melvin Gordon, Judy.
Melvin Gordon's not it's between the Broncos. Judy's got the significantly better matchup, but might be on a pitch count. Obviously, Melvin Gordon's in a bit of a timeshare, but has still been producing. I feel like Melvin Gordon's role is a little bit more locked in. Well, not that Judy's role isn't locked in, but it might be a pitch
Floor
count.
play Gordon, ceiling play Judy.
Floor play Gordon,
If Judy
ceiling
gets
play
like
Judy.
all the targets like he was
that.
getting in the beginning of the year, then I mean you're gonna be wishing you played Judy, but Gordon's gonna be a solid floor
Gordon
play.
is safe.
Yeah,
I expect the Broncos to win the game. Yeah, Broncos should win the game or should be winning the game. Game script, I think, favors Gordon. Judy's a little bit more volatile, but yeah, the ceiling is higher.
Yep. Raul Morales, what's going on, bro? Shepard or LaVisca at flex. I think you're going Shepard if he's playing, but you might be forced to play LaVisca. Who else is on your wire or your bench?
You're going to have to pick. If you want to play Shepard, that's fine. But yeah, you're going to need to pick up like a Darius Slayton or a Byron Pringle in the event Shepard can't go.
Dante Pettis. Ugh.
No. 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 But I would pick up, if Slayton's out there or if Byron Pringle's out there, if you go, Raul, if you decide to go with Shepard, get one of those. Get another wide receiver who's going to play in the Monday night game just in case. But I'm fine with not playing LaVisca.
Yeah, Nick is way down on LaVisca. Something
I wish I wasn't. I wasn't.
Never thought I'd see the day.
Jamal Agnew took his damn job.
I know. They took our nerves.
I need to watch some South Park.
Yeah.
Might do that tonight. No, that's not true. I need to watch Ohio State stomp Penn State. That's coming up soon, actually. Or no, it's the game. That game just started. That just kicked off. But anyway.
Yeah, we hope that helped Raul.
Yeah.
Edon Ortiveros was going on. Should I trade Lockett for Kenneth Gainwell? I mean,
no. I would say no. Because Russell Wilson still might. Russell Wilson, I think, is decently close. Russell Wilson's not going to be. I don't think he's going to be shut down. Gainwell might have a nice little stretch here for these next couple of weeks, next 3-4 weeks. I feel like Lockett has some ceiling potential for the fantasy playoffs, though.
I mean, Gainwell for the fantasy playoffs plays the Giants and the Washington football team.
I know the matchup is good.
Back to back. Like, they got great. Can you count on it with Miles Sanders in there, getting a full Miles Sanders workload? No. Right. But, I mean, again, Lockett outside of the first 2 games hasn't been like anything. And I guess they're going to have to go more to the air because they won't have Chris Carson most likely at the end of the season. So right. you might be seeing some boom weeks for Lockett. So I guess hold Lockett
Do we have a timeline to return for Russell Wilson?
But if you're trading Lockett, I don't know.
Russell Wilson could return week 10. So we're talking 2 weeks where it's like.
I mean, can you try
return.
to turn Lockett into Miles Sanders then?
I wouldn't do that either. I think
mean,
I hold
Lockett.
I think I hold Lockett just because you're not going to get. Look, I like Kenny Gainwell, but if that's the best you can do for a guy who you can usually rely on to be a wide receiver 2, with wide receiver 1 upside when Wilson plays, I think Lockett is going to be somebody you can rely on a little bit better for the fantasy playoffs than Gainwell.
But he's so boom bust. Like Lockett is one of those guys where, like, unless he's getting you like 24 points or he's getting you 2. He might year to year he's one of the most consistent bets for high-end wide receiver 2 production. But it's coming.
Volatility. I understand.
There's going to be peaks and valleys with Lockett, so know what you're signing up for with him. If you want to trade him for a more consistent producer, go for it. I guess we're both siding on Gainwell's probably not as consistent enough a player rest of season for what we're projecting for him to be the trade target if you're trading Lockett.
Assuming Miles Sanders comes back healthy, it's going to be a gross committee. Whereas
maybe
Lockett
see if you can package Lockett and get David Montgomery. If we're shooting for running backs later in the season, I mean, I know Khalil Herbert's emerged and he is good, but David Montgomery is going to be coming back and getting probably at least half of that workload back. But yeah, we hope our speculation helped.
Hopefully that helps.
I guess
I think at the end of the day, we're both saying, just hang on to Lockett.
Should you trade Lockett? Yeah, but I'm not trading him for Kenneth Gainwell. I guess. Yeah.
I guess not. Yeah. I guess not.
Yo, Slim. Yo, yes. We need to get all the people who've made more than 10 trades in one league. Get everybody in there.
Qualifications for joining a startup. You have to make a minimum.
It's like the elite.
I've seen that.
It's like the Elite Four. You gotta beat all the gym leaders first and get through Victory Road, bro. Like, you gotta make 15 trades.
Interesting analogy, but okay.
You're welcome.
I've seen leagues where it is required.
Too much Pokemon as a child.
It's required to make a minimum of 1 trade a week. Like, you have to. I've seen that. People make those.
You ever
rules.
seen those guillotine leagues where it's just like the team that with the
last
lose
and your team is
free agent pool
dropped.
Yeah.
Yup. I don't know if I would want to do that.
I want to try one out. I don't know how much money I'd be willing to put in on it, but I want to try
It might be like
out.
$5 or something. I would try that for fun, you know. But
But Slim, you're no on Fields too.
So is
E111. Yeah.
Never play Fields. I mean, I understand it's been gross. But if Heineke is the other option in a bad matchup, I'm trying to weigh the whole situation.
Yeah, thanks, King Liano. Appreciate it.
Appreciate that. Thanks for stopping by.
MP, do you still believe in CMC? I'm being offered CMC and Waddle for AJ Brown or Mike Williams and Nick Chubb. I mean,
No, don't take that. Keep AJ and Nick Chubb.
Yeah, I was gonna ask what's the time?
timeline?
Yeah, what's the timetable on McCaffrey coming back? We're pretty sure that when he comes back,
like
he's
it's a
not
bad
getting the
sign.
full workload because, I mean, he's just not. He's just proven that he can't handle it.
He hasn't played since week 4, and there's no update. No, I'm keeping Chubb. Chubb is back off the injury report. AJ Brown and Mike Williams are both studs. No, I'm not taking that deal, MP. Look, if McCaffrey comes back and pops, then good for McCaffrey. But there's way more built-in risk than there's ever been.
Yeah,
let the McCaffrey owner deal with McCaffrey.
You don't want to gamble like really, really good pieces right now for hoping that a piece returns to form later on in the season when he comes back from injury.
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
not trading those guys for McCaffrey.
not
right
bona
now.
fide starters like those guys. All those guys are bona fide.
They're in
set
your
it and
lineup
forget
every
it
week.
starters. Yeah.
Yeah. Nah. I would
Yep.
not do that. Would not do that.
Yeah, Slim, come back in the AM. We
Slim?
need that
Yeah,
Zodiac
I don't know
news,
if you're.
bro.
I don't know if you're still in here, but yeah, I need to know. What are those kickers? Zodiac signs. That might be a. Yeah, is Mercury in retrograde?
those
or whatever they
analytics.
say. Yeah. I don't know.
Homer Simpson, yeah, you're welcome, bro. Thanks for
Yeah,
thanks for joining
hopefully
us.
Homer, hopefully that was helpful.
Scotty Snags, what's going on? Should I
What's up,
accept
Scotty?
Mixon and Amari Cooper for Patterson and Terry McLaurin?
Ooh.
No.
You don't think so?
For this year, I think Patterson and McLaurin continue to do Patterson and McLaurin things. I mean,
Yeah.
Mixon's
Mixon.
getting the workload. I like Mixon's workload, but
He's
hasn't.
getting a lot of work.
But it's been ugly work, and he's not getting the passing down work. That's all going to Samaje and Chris Evans. And Cooper, you're off Cooper. He hasn't been
This
great.
week.
He hasn't been great all season. There's a lot of mouths to feed, and Gallup's about to come back. No, I would
Yeah,
rather
he's
have. If I'm in a season-long league, I would rather have Patterson and Terry.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
At the beginning of the season, would I have said that? Absolutely not. But we are where we are. Patterson and Terry rest the season over Amari Cooper and Joe Mixon.
Yeah.
Especially since with that dual eligibility, you can play Patterson as a running back. So yeah,
Right.
no brainer there for me. I'm holding.
Yeah, that's fine. I would keep your guys, Scotty.
And if it's the other way around, like smash accept. For this season, I think if you can get Patterson and Terry for Mixon and Amari Cooper right now,
Mm-hmm.
it might not feel great, but I think that's the right move to win this year.
Yeah, I'm fine with the Patterson and Terry side over the alternative.
Yep. Marcus Brown is Pat Fryermuth a good streaming option with Ebron out? I have
Yes,
Logan
he is.
Thomas in my IR and Evan Ingram on my bench due to trade rumors.
Not only is Eric Ebron out, but so is one of the Browns linebackers is out as well. I think there's a couple Browns linebackers that are out, or at least one. The answer is yes. Fryermuth is absolutely worth a stream. If it's Slim Pickens on the wire, Fryermuth is fine. Should see some underneath work. Should be a little bit of a juju role for Fryermuth. No Ebron, no juju. Yeah, he's fine. He's fine as a
him and
stream.
Najee are going to be splitting all the work inside
All the short
inside
stuff. Yep.
in the 10-yard line type deal. Yeah. Agreed.
I'm good. I'm
Agreed.
fine with Fryermuth. If
Slim,
you
you
have to.
retracted your message, bro.
Might not. Yeah, he said he'd be back in the AM. I don't know if
Yeah.
he's still here, but
AB rest of season. What can we expect Rashad Bateman to be more than a flex play? I think he hits wide receiver 3 value.
yeah,
And I think
eventually.
he can hit wide receiver 2 value if everything goes his way. But I think we're looking at wide receiver 3 rest of season.
Well, you think he's going to overtake Hollywood?
I think if you're looking at who's the more talented wide receiver, I believe it's Rashad Bateman. Who's the more talented complete wide receiver? It's Rashad Bateman.
He's the more complete one. I think Hollywood's speed maybe makes him a little bit more talented.
Right, but I believe that the Hollywood speed, he's been force-fed targets in this offense because he's the only wide receiver out there. I think
Bateman's
ideally,
played the past few weeks.
ideally he plays the secondary speed role to an alpha, and I know Mark Andrews is there and he's operating as the alpha and more than half of the weeks. But I think Rashad Bateman was brought in to be the alpha.
He'll be the X receiver.
Right.
I think. I still say. I mean,
Which is not to say that Hollywood Brown won't be at least a wide receiver 2 and fantasy relevant moving forward. He still could be and still will be. I
think
predict.
he still will be.
But Rashad Bateman has a chance. I mean,
He'll have his weeks.
Rashad Bateman If he went to a team that everybody expected to pass more, everybody would have been much higher on him coming into the year, and Baltimore's done nothing but pass.
Yeah, no, I mean, I
So
think they'll both be viable.
the narrative on that offense is holding the thought process on Bateman back, and I think
Maybe for some.
I think Bateman's gonna blow. I do.
Okay.
I'm very.
I mean,
high
look,
on
I
Bateman.
like him. I like Bateman. I definitely like Bateman, but Hollywood has proven a lot of people wrong this year.
Yeah, me included. Yeah, you know where I stand.
Okay.
But I hope that answers your question, AB.
He will have
Wide
wide
receiver
receiver
3.
3 weeks.
Yep.
He'll have wide receiver 3 weeks.
Kyle, no, yeah, man. One more question. Start 2 full PPR: Godwin, AJ Brown, Ridley, CeeDee Lamb. Already starting
Holy
Cup.
hell.
Wow, yo. Yeah, I would trade one of your wide receivers for a running back.
Yeah,
But-
trade one of those
yeah,
two.
yeah,
Or one of those 4.
I mean, you're sitting CeeDee or Ridley.
He's got to start.
Start 2,
Yeah,
so it's
gotta
Godwin and AJ Brown.
I think those are the 2.
Yeah. it's-
Godwin without Antonio
Godwin, AJ Brown,
and
and Cup.
AJ is AJ.
That's the way to go. That is absolutely
Like-
the way to go. And yo, you're gonna have a great week. You're gonna have a great week.
I hope so.
What's your record, bro? And
hope
who are
it's
your
good.
running backs? Damn.
Yeah, trade one of those wide receivers for a running back.
Before the trade deadline, yeah.
Right.
Chuck, man, Noah Fant, or would you guys take a shot at upside with the Bills' hot offense with Sweeney? No, I'd go Fant.
Go Fant.
Sweeney's just such an unknown.
Yeah,
I would go
he
Fant.
could catch like a red zone score or a goal line score, but there's so many more weapons than that. Fant's the better option.
Yep.
In a good matchup.
In a game where Judy should see a pitch count, I would go.
Yeah, Fant.
Yeah. Yep. MP, now my team is Kyler, Chubb, Swift, Cup, AJ Brown, Mike Williams, and Gronk. Wow, bro. That's
Looks like a league
solid.
winner.
It's a solid team.
Looks like
I
a
want to
league
see
winner.
your team go up against Kawanohi's. See who
real.
comes out on top. Tajikart, based on my league, I can try Emmanuel Sanders plus Damian Harris for these running backs. Any other thoughts and ideas? Cordell Patterson, Antonio Gibson, Elijah Mitchell, Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley, Zach Moss. I mean, if you can go after Saquon Barkley, he's going to be back. And he's going to get all the work when he comes back.
Yeah.
I mean, if you could go after Saquon and you can get him for the
It's
combination
worth
of
a-
Emmanuel
it's worth a
Sanders or
shot.
Damian Harris, try it. But I doubt that'll get it done. Also, I mean, Antonio Gibson. If you can go and get Antonio Gibson for Emmanuel Sanders and Damian Harris, try it out.
Mhm.
I don't know how successful you'll be, but yeah. I don't know if I'd do it for any of those other guys. Not Josh Jacobs, not Elijah Mitchell. Cordell Patterson's a maybe, not Zach Moss. But I like the combination of Emmanuel Sanders and Damian Harris. I don't know if I'd give that up for Cordell Patterson.
Probably not.
But I'd try for Saquon for sure, and I'd try for Antonio Gibson for sure, bro.
Mhm.
Throw those out. Definitely. Raul Morales, I could pick up Agnew or Slayton. Was this
Oh, that's for playing. If he's going to play Tony.
Yeah. Shepard or LaVisca at flex?
Right. Let's see. Well, Agnew is going to play. Agnew is the play if you decide to just totally pivot off of Tony. If you want to play, if you're sitting there and you're saying to yourself, I want to have Tony in my lineup, then Slayton is the pickup.
Yep.
Because then you can back him up with another healthy
I'd
wide
probably
receiver.
do that over Agnew. I know Agnew's had a hot 2-game stretch, and I expect him to continue to have 50 to 60% of the snaps and 6 targets or something in that offense, 5 to 6 targets with how they play the game. But Kadarius Toney has that 13 target, 10 catch, 190 something yards upside. So I'd be holding out for that. If you can back him up with Slayton, I'd be holding out for Kadarius. I wouldn't be picking up Agnew and just throwing in the towel on that one. Personal opinion. Marcus Brown, would you trade Waddle for Antonio Gibson? Hell yeah.
Yes.
Yesterday. Yeah.
That's all I got. Yes.
yeah, bro.
Dude,
yeah.
if the Gibson owner is willing to do that, do it.
Yep. Max Leonidas, will Dak play? It's still up in the air right now. It does not.
Shot in the dark right now.
But I mean, do you
want to
go on your
odds? Don't feel great.
Do you want to go on your rant again about Dak for the anybody that might have missed it for the first?
For anybody who may have missed it, I mean,
yeah.
The concern is, the Cowboys are coming off their bye week, right? So that's like, obviously the bye week is a week to get right, get healthy, like heal up from any bumps and bruises that you accrued for the first, up until that point. Dak got hurt at the very end of their game week 6. They played New England, I think. Dak got hurt at the end of that game, had the whole bye week to rest up, was limited in practice the whole week. At first, there was an update yesterday that Cooper Rush could be expected to start. And then there was an update later today that it's a true game time call. And it's Sunday night, which makes things difficult if you're intending to start Dak because in that situation you don't have Patrick Mahomes, who is at least playing Monday night. Maybe you have Daniel Jones. Maybe you have Kirk Cousins. Those are the only quarterbacks where it's like I can go right up against the wire before I make a decision.
Yeah.
If you don't have any of those other 3 guys, I would be pivoting off of Dak. I don't want to play with that, because even if he does play, he's going to be less than 100%. And if he re-aggravates the injury,
then they're pulling him. Right.
Then they're pulling him, and you're
left with
stuck.
the goose egg. Right.
Right. You're stuck. Unless I'm just going to assume if you have Dak, you don't have Mahomes. But if you have Daniel Jones or Kirk Cousins, then you can ride it up to game time if you really want to. But I'm looking to move off of Dak this week. It's too dicey of a scenario. He's going to throw 5 touchdowns now.
Yeah, guys, sorry, I'm moving the ghost. I realized it's in front of the chat. All right.
Are you playing with Boo?
Yeah.
Messing around with Boo.
Yes,
it's
sir.
Halloween. Well, tomorrow technically. Tonight's going to be the night everybody.
I forgot that the ghost's name was Boo. You're right.
It's Boo.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
He steals your items in Mario Kart.
Yeah. I haven't played Mario Kart in years. NPX. Yeah, man. Yeah, you might it might be best to hold.
Don't. Yeah.
Yep.
Keep Chubb and your receivers.
Yeah, but if you got any other trade inquiries, definitely drop by one of our live streams or put them in the comments or one of the videos, and we'll get to them. If you don't have any for the rest of the night, Jim E, Gainwell or Darrell Williams PPR. I would be going Darrell Williams. I'd be going Darrell Williams. I like Gainwell this week. I think he gets. I mean, we're hoping for a touchdown, but Darrell Williams, he's gonna get.
Yeah, could be a receiving touchdown.
Yeah,
so
I would expect
in PPR,
so.
There's a nice boost there. But Darrell Williams is better offense, more reliable,
more touches.
Probably more touches.
Yep.
And I expect game script to be in his favor. Gainwell game script could be in Gainwell's favor too. If the Lions are winning the game, Gainwell could be catching passes, but Williams attached to a better offense, attached to a much better quarterback. I would go Williams.
Yep. Richie Sandoval, Carter or Javonte Williams PPR? I'd be going Javonte. I'm all the way in on your start all your Broncos this week.
It's such a good matchup.
Going Javonte. I'm going Javonte, even though he's splitting the work with Melvin Gordon.
I think both backs for the Broncos. I think all Broncos are perfectly fine this week. All Broncos are perfectly fine.
Cali Loco, hey man, thanks, appreciate it.
Thanks for tuning in.
DST Minnesota. We got a defense question. So
Okay.
This is all Nick. He's the He's the kicker whisperer and the defense.
I'm that special teams help.
Yeah.
So to speak, defense and special teams. I mean, Seattle is a trendy pick this week because they're going up against Jacksonville, but the Seahawks defense actually is not that good. Like, they're getting run over by everybody.
I'm guessing you're gonna go to Minnesota. They were one of you were talking about them pretty glowingly at the beginning of this live stream.
If Dak doesn't go, then the Vikings, I think, are a solid stream. Even if he does, he's probably going to be playing less than 100%. And then, sorry, who are the other options? The Chargers. Like Mac Jones has been, I feel like he's been solid, like not turning the ball over, correct?
Yeah.
It's between the Chargers and the Vikings. I would probably say I got to look at Mac Jones's numbers and the Patriots in general. I actually think I might be inclined to say the Chargers. They're at home.
Ooh, okay.
Coming off their bye. Well, so are the Vikings and the Cowboys are both coming off their bye week. But the Chargers are coming off their bye week and the Patriots aren't. So a little slight edge to the Chargers there. What have the Chargers been doing recently? I feel like they've been playing pretty well on defense, and I feel like the Patriots have been a little bit more susceptible to fantasy points allowed to opposing defenses. I'm going to say a slight edge to the Chargers.
There we go.
At home, Patriots got to go across the country to play a good team. The Chargers are rested coming off their bye week. The Patriots aren't. Give me the Chargers. I'll call my shot. I do like the Vikings if Dak doesn't go. But I think the Chargers have a slightly better defense. I do. I'm gonna go the Chargers at home. Now I think about it. Not Seattle, not Tennessee. They're giving up too many. They are too weak in too many areas. And then there's kicker follow up. Ryan suck up or the field is that would appear to be the question. I mean, suck up unless like Evan McPherson is still out there, or maybe Greg Joseph. I don't think New Orleans has given up that many points to kickers now that I think about it. Let me take a look. No, actually the Saints are not as they're like middle of the pack. Saints are like middle of the pack. Callie, is there any chance Evan McPherson is out there? At this point I doubt it. I've been pumping him up for the past few weeks.
Yeah, for a while now.
I've been pumping McPherson for a while. Callie, let me know if McPherson is available, because if he is, he's my guy. If it's not him, if he's not, then like a Greg Joseph is fine. A Chase McLaughlin is fine. Trying to think who else like has a good situation. Let me know if McPherson's available. If actually, don't even let me know. If McPherson's available, just go pick him up.
There you go. All right, guys, we are gonna try to roll through these last 7 chats in here, and then try to wrap it up, because we do have a
we do intend to be on tomorrow morning as well.
Yeah. So
yeah, if anybody wants to
so Joe, I think that's how you Joe
go.
Gainwell,
go.
Javonte Williams, Callaway, Mooney, Higbee at flex full PPR.
It's go Saints, like that
possibly.
French spelling.
Possibly.
It's not possibly.
Gainwell,
It's definitely.
or Javonte is where I'm going. And I know it's start all.
Javonte.
You're going Javonte? Even though Gainwell should get more work than Javonte, and Gainwell.
Yeah, I don't want to. I feel like I'm coming off as I'm like.
I think I'm going Gainwell. I think I'm going Gainwell because he plays the Lions, and for the first 6 games of the year, they were the worst rushing defense for opposing running backs in fantasy, and they course corrected a little bit in last week's game, but not by much. And I mean, Gainwell's versatile, rusher and a passer.
I can get on board with this.
I think I'm going Gainwell.
Yeah, I can get on board with this.
There are a lot of mouths to feed now in Denver. So I mean, we can't I'd start all your Denver guys. I want to, but I mean, I think I
Gainwell's
gotta go
got a
Gainwell.
good-
I gotta go Gainwell there.
Feel like maybe there's some more upside for Gainwell this week than
Yep.
Javonte. Javonte feels safe. Gainwell is an upside play, but it's not like the discrepancy is so different. So yeah, I'm fine with the Gainwell call,
And MP,
especially in full PPR. Yeah.
MP Mike Williams is not going to start busting. This guy, he's
Nah,
legit.
man, this feels
he's
like
here.
a breakout. This feels like a breakout year for him, and I don't have no reason to believe it won't continue. He's attached to it. Like Justin Herbert's awesome.
And
I
they
love
started
guys
using
attached
him
to good
in the
quarterbacks.
intermediate pass game, and that's really exploded his value because they weren't just using him down the seam to catch jump balls. They're starting to use him in a more versatile role, and I think that's here to stay. I don't think that's going anywhere. So yeah, Mike Williams is legit. He's a wide receiver 1 moving forward weekly, and
Yeah.
We're 7 games in now. This is week 8. The trends are things that we can abide by at this point.
Sure.
So yeah, Mike Williams, he is legit.
Really quick, real quick. Callie at the bottom said yes. I think yes. Weather. I think does that mean McPherson is available, but like the weather in New York. I just quickly looked up if this is the case. If yes, less than a 20% chance of rain, 10-mile-per-hour winds. I'm okay with. If it was like 50% chance and 35-mile-per-hour winds, then I would be way more concerned about McPherson. But those conditions, I'm not as concerned about. If McPherson is available, that's my guy.
Yep.
Jets are giving up far and away the most points to kickers this year, and McPherson is awesome.
There you go. The kicker whisper again. Strikes again.
The kick spurrer. You could combine that somehow. Shut up.
Nope.
I like combining words. Anyway.
Yo, MP, you got Kawanohi. Sorry.
Yeah.
In that league, RB. Oh, your running backs. You got CMC, David Montgomery, Saquon. Ugh, that sucks, bro. Elijah Mitchell, Darrell Williams, Chuba. I mean, you got good depth. You just got to wait for Saquon to come back and Monty to come back and then see whatever you can get for CMC. But, I mean, if your tight end is Pitts and you got those wide receivers.
Pitts and Hawk.
Yeah, I mean, could you try to trade
Just hold.
Yeah.
Or try to trade McCaffrey for
Taylor,
a mother load as far as
Jonathan Taylor. Throw CMC throw CMC and one of them wide receivers that he has. He's got a surplus of wide receiver 2s. If you could turn one of those low or high end wide receiver 2s,
it's gonna have to be
and
Lamb.
CMC into Jonathan Taylor and something.
It's gonna have to be Lamb. Or like it's not. You're not gonna be able to get away with like Calvin Ridley.
You never know if you try. I mean, you might be able to,
Sure.
bro. You might be able to. Didn't we see an insane Dalvin Cook trade last week?
True.
I mean, you never know what's gonna get. You never know what's gonna get accepted. So my motto is like throw it out there. Throw it out there. See if you can see what gets it done. If it doesn't get it done, then reevaluate, and then you know that it's going to be a harder deal to get done. You got to throw more at it, and then you have to evaluate if it's worth it or not. But I mean, CMC and Calvin Ridley for Jonathan Taylor.
That would be wild.
Try it. Try it. Those are names, bro. CMC and Calvin Ridley. If you're hitting the right team at the right time, they might press yes on that trade. So try it out.
Give it a shot.
MP, you got Tony in all your leagues. Basically, have a 3rd-round pick talent from the waivers. Yeah, bro.
Yeah, he's a good hold. At this point.
I hope he can stay healthier than he has been over the past few weeks because he is exciting when he's playing. I want to see more from this kid. I really do. Yep. Jugrash Pata, Darrell Henderson, and Hawkinson for Kelsey. I get Kelsey. My running backs will be James Robinson and Swift.
Yes.
Yeah, bro.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm totally
Hawkinson's
good with that.
been a little banged up, and your
defenses are
going
keying
and
on
getting
him.
the best tight end in the league.
I'm good with that trade, absolutely.
Especially considering your running backs aren't taking that much of a hit there. Having to swerve to James Robinson and Swift is a pretty good swerve.
With Kelsey, yeah, dude, yes. If the Kelsey owner is going to do that, is willing to do that, I'm on board.
Yep.
What's up, Brett? And
yeah, we missed the end of Kanohi's comment there. 10-teamers are fun. Yeah, 10-teamers are fun. I'm playing.
Your teams are a little bit more stacked. Yeah,
playing a
there's
keeper
no
league
doubt about
10-teamer,
that.
and it is enjoyable to have a stacked roster. The guys on the waivers, there's always a couple of people on waivers that are worth picking up in a 10-team league. Made 6 trades so far, 4-3. All right, excited about the second half of the season.
You're right
yeah,
in
me
it.
too, bro.
You're right in. You're right in it.
And yeah, your team is solid as hell, bro.
Yep.
Whew, would not want to go up against that one. But Brett Forseth was popping, bro. Would you start Javonte Williams over Chuba Hubbard or Khalil Herbert this week?
I'm inclined to say Chuba, or start Javonte over
Chuba's
Chuba.
gonna get the workload.
I know. I like Javonte.
I know, but Chuba's gonna get the workload. I know you've been high on Javonte. From the offseason in, but Chuba.
Here's the thing about Herbert.
Workload.
Herbert's got another tough matchup, but Herbert blew the doors off a bad matchup last week.
Yeah. Are you going back to the well? Or are you going Chuba Hubbard, who you know is going to be getting that workload?
The matchups.
If I have the choice to go Chuba Hubbard or Khalil Herbert, I'm going Chuba Hubbard. But it's close. And I could be burning myself again. But I'm going Chuba Hubbard.
Between the three of them, Herbert has far and away the most difficult matchup. Between the three of them, Chuba has the most difficult.
But he's had the most solidified role since CMC's been out.
Yeah.
And
Javonte has the best. Javonte has the best matchup.
Oh, you know where I'm going. Chuba. You decide your comment. I'm going Chuba.
I like finding a way to get Javonte in there, but
of course you do.
I need to think on that one, Brett. I'll have a little bit more solidified answer for you, but I do want to find a way to get Javonte in my lineup. Let me marinate on that one.
Yeah, moving on. Jim E. Hawkinson or Schultz PPR? I'm going Hawkinson there, bro. Just because we don't know what's going to be happening with the Dallas Cowboys pass catchers. And I know Hawkinson's been more down than up this year, but, I mean, he's still involved. He's still one of the primary pass catchers there.
The Lions get the Eagles. It's a lock. Hawkinson. The Eagles have no linebackers. I'm just now remembering. Oh, Hawkinson gets Philly.
Yeah.
If there's one defense that is like completely lost out there and will not be, they can key on Hawkinson all they want. The only concern would be is if they shadow Hawkinson with Darius Slay, because Darius Slay, when shadowing receivers this year, has actually been pretty solid. But that's receivers. Hawkinson obviously is not.
I'm going Hawkinson over Schultz, considering the QB play from Dallas this week, and it's not really even close for me.
It would be Hawkinson. The Eagles outside of Darius Slay on defense are a train wreck.
Yeah. Cali Loco, yo, you're welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your questions.
I can't wait for
your comments. And
McPherson's getting you 10 tomorrow.
Your kicker questions, bro. Go. You know who to ask. You know who to ask.
And this year, my answer is always Evan McPherson.
Iron never lies. What's going on, bro? Gainwell over Keenan Allen this week? I would not. Keenan Allen. It's a consolidated target share in for the Chargers. I know Gainwell should get a lot of work this week. But I mean,
that's a tier break.
That's the tier break for me. Keenan Allen has perennially been a wide receiver 1. I know he's been more of a low end wide receiver 2, but I think you have to stick with him over a guy like Gainwell.
If Eckler doesn't go,
right, yep,
yeah,
yep. Hope that helps, bro. Thanks for tuning in. Richie Sandoval, DJ Moore, or Deontay Johnson, PPR. I mean, Deontay Johnson's more matchup
Somebody
proof.
Posted. Somebody,
but I think it's. I mean, he hasn't busted. He hasn't busted. DJ Moore technically has busted, and this offense just isn't great. But if they're gonna get out of a hole, they have to use DJ Moore. That's so tough, man. That you have to pick between those two guys.
Yeah, that is tough. All I'll say is somebody posted on Twitter this week. I can't remember who. DJ Moore just so happens.
DJ Moore. I think you go DJ Moore there.
DJ Moore just so happens to have like the vast majority of his career touchdowns playing in a dome, playing indoors. Take that however you want. But the Panthers travel to Atlanta this week, and they're playing in a dome. And for whatever reason, you can go look at DJ Moore's splits. Most of his career touchdowns come when he plays inside.
I think I'm going DJ Moore, and it's tough.
I love
Deontay, but DJ Moore has been absolutely insane this year.
He's been strong. His yards per catch is strong. Both quarterbacks are bleh. Yeah, I would go DJ Moore just based on his career inside, and they're playing inside.
With no Terrace Marshall.
Right. Obviously, still no McCaffrey.
Yeah, they're gonna go to him early and often, and it's gonna be DJ Moore who pulls him out of this slump. I'm going DJ Moore.
Deontay's gonna get 15 points, but DJ might get 20.
Right, he might get 25.
He's not.
He might have one. He might have one of those. Weeks.
I don't know. I mean, maybe it's.
You can't count
playing indoors, so who knows?
You can't count DJ Moore out for something like that.
I'm not. I'm starting him over my favorite
especially
receiver.
With the one super consolidated target share he's playing with right now. But Jugrash Pada, you're welcome, bro. Thanks. I'm glad we could help.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in.
Chris Mack, what's up, bro?
Who's
the odd man out? Gainwell, Judy, or T. Higgins? I think it's T. Higgins.
Oh man, I can't believe. Yeah,
I think it's T. Higgins, bro.
Higgins had a decent day last week.
Yeah, I still think it's Higgins. If you're start all your Broncos, and I'm relatively high on Gainwell this week, I have to sit Higgins.
Where do the Jets rank in points allowed to wide receivers? Time to do. Ooh, they're actually decent against wide receivers. They're actually top 5 against wide receivers for fantasy. The Jets, of all people, of all teams. Yeah, I mean, look, Chris, I am pretty bullish on the Broncos this week. The matchup is as good as it could get. Washington, far and away, like not close, allows the most fantasy points to wide receivers this year. So the matchup is as good as it gets. Judy may only play half the snaps, but that may be all he needs to come through. Obviously, Higgins is attached to the way better quarterback, but the Broncos at home in as good of a matchup as they'll have all year, I'm okay with that call. Yep. I'm okay with the Higgins being the odd man out. I'm fine with that.
Cali Loco, Shepard, wide receiver for quarterbacks. Pick one. Got Brady week 9. Teddy Bridgewater versus Dallas. Or week 9 by Teddy Bridgewater versus Dallas. Wentz versus Jets. Tua versus Houston. Or put Jonathan Taylor on IR versus Miami. No trade.
JJ Taylor. Is Jameis available? Callie, is Jameis? If Jameis is available, he gets the Falcons. They're giving up lots of points to quarterbacks. If not, I understand wanted to play ahead. I have Brady in multiple leagues, so obviously I'm preparing for my bye week fill in for next week as well. It's either Jameis or Tua. It's either Jameis or Tua. Good matchups.
Who's Jameis
and
playing?
Tua.
Who's
Tua
Jameis got?
Is Atlanta. Who they're giving up lots of points.
Yeah.
The thing with Tua playing Houston is Tua has been linked to Houston dating back to almost last year, it feels like, or at least this whole offseason. I wouldn't be surprised if Tua shows out a little bit against the Texans next week.
I'm going Tua there.
I'm okay with that.
I'm going Tua there.
They said no. All the quarterbacks are gone. Yeah,
Tua. Can't trust Jameis. I'm sorry. You can't trust Jameis right now. Tua.
Great matchup.
Tua. I know it's a great matchup, but Tua's got a great matchup too.
Yeah, I would go Tua.
Tua.
He said he's not available anyway, so Tua.
Chris Mack, thanks for helping out with the trade advice.
He
in the
leaves
chat.
Javonte on the bench.
Well, he was just helping out with that.
No, I know. I'm trying to think of like what my answer is. I think Chuba's fine to keep in. I think Chuba's fine to keep in. And again, Herbert, there's no way I could have advised starting him last week against the Bucs, and all he did was pop. So I guess Javonte being in the timeshare, like there's a little bit more downside, but Khalil's in, Khalil, like, I guess proved he's a little bit matchup proof, like, despite being in a bad offense, like getting 100 yards against
they're gonna
Tampa
use
Bay
him because
down 35-3.
they're going to continue to hide Justin Fields.
They're
So they're
trying
going
to
to
hide
continue to
Fields.
use him. So I know you're all start your Broncos, but I could see a
start the
realm in
Broncos
which
this
Chuba
week.
and Khalil are these starts. We're looking back, and they're the guys that you wish you played. So my one start is Chuba, and if you need to pick between one of the other guys, then it's a dart throw.
I'm fine with doing Herbert. Herbert's got upside. He proved it last. When you do it against the Bucks and your team loses 35-3, like that's showing out. So I'm fine with the call. Fine with the call. Brett, go with Chuba and Khalil.
I want to reiterate that we are winding down. So
we are winding.
Richie Sandoval, thanks, bro. Iron Never Lies, Javonte or Keenan Allen. Who do you go with? Allen, yeah.
Allen.
Red and gold. Do I move Waddle or Gesicki before Parker and Fuller return? No, because I'm not expecting Fuller to return, and Parker. I don't know how much he hurts either of those guys. I think.
Yeah, I think you're fine unless you have Kelsey, or unless you have Kelsey or Gronk or I'll throw Waller in there because Waller's worth throwing in there. Gesicki's also fine to hang on to. He's been a target hog for Tua.
Yeah, I'm not trying to move away from any of those players.
Yeah, I think you're good keeping those. I think you're good keeping those guys.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the future there. Fletcher, what's going on? Thoughts on trading Javonte for T. Higgins? Nah.
I would keep Javonte.
I would keep Javonte. We're still high on him rest of the season over T. Higgins. I know T. Higgins, wide receiver 2 value you're hoping for, but Javonte, we both think his role continues to grow, regardless of what happens this week.
The only way I do that trade is if I have like Jonathan Taylor, DeAndre Swift, Nick Chubb, and my wide receivers are weak.
Yeah.
Or Kamara. That's the only way I trade Javonte. So.
And Chris,
other than that, keep it.
Chris Mack, glad we could help with that.
We confirmed what is. Yeah, no, right now Higgins is going to get 8 for 80 yards and a touch.
Yeah,
but no, keep him. But we're go ahead. He's odd man out. That's fine.
Yo, dude, no, don't put that in the universe, John. No Jordan Howards. No, don't put that into the universe, bro.
I know they weird stuff.
The
Sans
Eagles will be completely off running backs for 7 games, and then all of a sudden Miles Sanders is out, and they're playing Jordan Howard like Marshawn Lynch. Like
Howard's getting 2 tutties tomorrow.
Ridiculous.
What?
Don't put that out in the universe, John. That's bad fantasy karma. But Emil Collier, Gainwell, or Devontae Booker PPR. Going Gainwell.
I think Booker. Think Gainwell? I think Booker. That's a great. They're both good matchups. I think. I mean, to John's point, I think Booker's a little bit more locked into a role. I think Booker's a little bit more locked into volume.
I've been very removed from how Booker has been doing since filling in for Saquon. I've been more keyed into what Gainwell has been doing.
Past couple weeks, I've been off Booker. This week I'm on. Just the Chiefs, man.
Okay.
If you have a running back against the Chiefs,
I'm going Gainwell. He's going Booker. I'm sorry, we do not agree on that one, Emil.
We're not helping. I'm trying to think like. What would be the they're right there. They're both like right there. Gainwell's got a little bit more upside. I would say Booker is the safe
because
play.
It's PPR, and like I could see a realm in which Devontae Booker, the game script just gets completely wacky, and they're just not running the ball. Gainwell, the gameplay could get the game script could get completely wacky, and he's still out there catching passes.
Who's the Giants pass catching back?
Elisha Penny? Corey Clement? Is he still there?
Oh, it might be Corey Clement. Yeah. Okay. So to that point, yeah, Gainwell has a little bit more upside. So if you want to go the upside play Gainwell, I would say Booker is maybe a smidge safer.
Yeah. I guess I could agree with that. Floor play Booker, ceiling play in PPR is Gainwell.
Booker's the floor play, but if you think you need to swing for the fences, Emil, then Gainwell's got some more upside as a pass catcher.
But that about does it. Thank you guys for all your questions in the chat. We've been saying we were winding down for about 30 minutes there, but
we had some comments to catch up to.
Yeah.
We always make sure we get to everybody's questions.
Yeah.
As long as we don't.
Thank you everybody who donated to Super Chat and supported us today. Thanks for everybody who didn't and just threw a question in the chat. Also supporting us. Thanks for being here. Happy Halloween to everybody, and we will see you tomorrow, 10 a.m.
10 a.m. Eastern for any last minute help. We hope to see y'all. But enjoy your Saturdays.
Peace, guys.